All right, welcome back, everybody, to Two Birds, One Stone. I'm Vincent Schultz, and
I'm Zachary Brooks, and we're joined today by a friend of ours.
we've got a guest already.
Harrison Dehlin here for the first time.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I work with one of these two fine gentlemen, and I know one of them through a mutual hangout of Black Rocks and through the comedy scene.
Which is a brewery.
Which is a microbrewery, yes. But I know them through the comedy scene. They're trying to... Vincent keeps trying to urge me to get up on stage. I'm a bit of a recluse, and...
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, welcome, Harrison. I want to start off, though, with the fact that over the last two episodes, the only two episodes we've had so far.
We've done more, but...
the last two published episodes, I've been butchering the names of these books I keep talking about, and I never even mention their authors because I am a dipshit sometimes.
I see you have them now. So.
I have them with me. So the first book is the FBI negotiating one. It's called Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as If Your Life Depended on It by Chris Voss with Tal Raz, if that's how you say his name. And then the other book is The Righteous Mind, Why Good People Are Divided by Politics and Religion by Jonathan Haidt. Both good reads.
I know Jonathan Haidt. That's funny. Okay.
All right.
Well, I knew the name. I know who he
book
is,
to read, hey?
but I didn't know he was the author of that book because you've brought it up a few times.
Right, and I didn't even know he was the author of that book. So.
No, he's an interesting guy.
Have you read other books by him before?
I've just heard him talk a lot. And
You've heard him talk?
Yeah, yeah.
He even sounds really intelligent.
I watch a lot of those like paneled debates with like a bunch of different kinds of people. I watch a lot of those, and I've seen him on there.
I can see that book being up there because that's the type of writing it is. It's hard to digest. Like I've been stopping to read a lot of definitions.
Oh man, yeah, that's why I love fucking indexes and appendices. If I see a name or something, especially with the Gulag book I was telling you about.
Yeah, an appendices would be nice.
I can flip to the back, and he has like a whole index of the terms and what pages they're on, and
he probably
also
does
have lists of people who he's referencing. So it'll say, Gregorov, Armakanov, Skolsky.
He's got notes in the back of this book, so he's probably even got an appendix. Maybe not. No. Oh. No, he doesn't have an index, appendices. Yeah, he's got an index, just not an appendices.
Yeah. No, but it's crazy.
And the thesaurus would fucking help, too.
He has multiple of them, too, so.
Yeah. But great books. But yeah, we wanted to start off with a segment that we came up with. Zach, what keeps you up at night, bro?
I don't know, man. It's pretty stupid.
Yeah, I know
I know what it is, but it's pretty stupid.
You've been like holding it from us this whole time because you want to drop it on the...
I've brought it up to people before.
All right.
And everybody looks at me like I'm fucking nuts, and it drives me nuts because I don't think I'm crazy, but I probably am. But have you noticed that Pop-Tarts have gotten a little bit smaller over the years?
You know what? I thought I was kind of crazy for a second too, maybe, but
it's been driving me.
Is it
crazy?
Are they really?
Yes.
Because I felt like there's been a lot more crust, not so much frosting since I was a kid.
The inconsistency on the frosting has definitely become apparent.
Exactly. Okay. I had a friend who said, I think they're just skimping on the frosting nowadays. But I don't think so.
You think they're just skimping on the size even? I think
the size is even... I remember more filling. I remember more pastry. I remember more frosting, of course.
Oh, boy, you're making me hungry right now.
I feel like the packages were even slightly bigger.
Do you know what it is? They are putting too much effort into expanding their flavors, and they just need to go back to the originals.
Expanding their flavors? Don't give me
that bullshit. There's a root beer float flavored Pop-Tart.
But goddamn it, I love every single one of them.
I didn't know that was
There's Jolly Rancher flavored ones.
That sounds gross. Sounds like too much.
There's like a cookie dough one.
Well, it happened with a good old-fashioned cinnamon frosted Pop-Tart that was an appropriate rectangle size.
But I don't know if that was actual Pop-Tart brand. Was that the government brand? Did they have government Pop-Tarts when I was little?
What?
I got a lot of government food. Government Pop-Tarts. Because I know what he's talking about. The big fat cinnamon ones. They were just loaded with sugar.
It's a toaster pastry.
Toaster strudel. Toaster
strudel's fucking great. But anyways, I think they've gotten smaller. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. But you know what? I don't think I am going crazy because I also noticed, you know what? They're making the Cheez-It smaller too. I swear to God, Cheez-Its have gotten smaller also. They used to be a fucking $50. You know what they are now? They're not even a goddamn quarter.
This is where you lose me because
Have you been documenting this, Zach?
I don't have the figures on hand, but I could probably find them.
Here's where you lost me because I might be the craziest one here, you guys. I actually like Cheese Nips.
Cheese Nips are okay.
There's the door.
I didn't like cheese.
Hey, I think Cheese Nips are okay, but Cheez-Its are definitely superior.
Cheez-Its had this weird after flavor.
Goldfish.
Aftertaste. I didn't like it. About
See,
Cheese Nips though. You know, it's a weird combination, but I will swear by this. Coca-Cola and Cheez-Its.
Goldfish and RC
That's
Cola.
so weird.
Hey,
Okay.
I love RC
I grew
Cola.
up in a Kmart area, okay?
Kmart was next to my house, dude. I understand.
Yeah, you get it.
RC
You get
Cola
it.
is great. Goldfish are great. But I think Cheez-Its and standard Coca-Cola are like B tier.
I'm sure Cheese Nips and Coca-Cola would be good.
Pepsi is too thin and sweet for me.
Pepsi, I'm not a big Pepsi fan. Not a big Pepsi fan.
Anyways,
But so Cheez-Its are getting smaller.
Cheez-Its got smaller too.
Cheez-Its-
Yes.
I remember.
We are
why I'm
not
so
branded
heated
by Coca-Cola. We're not getting
don't know.
paid. This is
Yeah.
not a paid endorsement.
I don't know why I'm so heated by Cheez-Its and Pop-Tarts, but
Cheez-Its and Pop-Tarts. That's what drives you nuts, hey?
they got smaller. That's what drives me nuts.
Well, I mean, same as like me and Trix cereal. They used to have fucking shapes. Now they're just a goddamn
Yeah,
pebbles,
I
colored
noticed that,
pebbles.
too.
Oh,
That's
you
dumb.
lazy
That
bastards.
doesn't make any sense.
Oh, sons of bitches. But
Why
I
would
do
they do
love the whole Fruit Loops plus marshmallows edition.
That's a good change.
When in the fuck did they start doing
Dude,
that?
they're Lucky Charms marshmallows and Fruit Loops. So good. I'm a cereal connoisseur. I love cereal, but yeah, I don't know.
So, you
Anyway.
being a cereal connoisseur, how do you feel about that meme going around, like with the shrimp tails? being found?
I laughed my
Cinnamon
ass
Toast
off
Crunch,
on it.
yeah.
I laughed
don't
my
know.
ass off on it.
Well, did you know the guy's apparently going to sue them possibly because he feels they're gaslighting, saying
Everybody
that
wants to sue everybody over everything.
Wait.
because they basically said they're not shrimp tails. It's just an accumulation of sugar that from it.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait,
aware of
maybe
all
I don't
that,
know what the
yeah.
fuck is going on. I just saw a picture of shrimp tails on a cinnamon box.
Just internet
Cinnamon
drama.
toast cereal.
that's-
Oh,
Don't
okay.
even worry
I don't
about
need.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Also,
don't
this guy that started all
this.
this is married to Topanga from
Topanga.
Or yeah,
Topanga from Boy Meets
Yeah,
World.
yeah.
God, what a babe.
Back in the day, maybe.
You just filled me with all my prepubescent, just like sexual energy. Oh, I gotta leave.
But you're right. You're right. That is internet
I need a
drama.
break for a minute.
Some internet drama we don't need.
No,
Here's some other internet drama.
Anyways.
You want? You
No,
know what
wait,
keeps?
Wait. We only did what keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
I gotta know what keeps you up at night.
That's what I was just gonna get to.
Oh, okay.
It's more internet
I thought
drama
you
in a
were
way.
moving
That's
it-
what I
oh,
was
internet
like kind of
drama. Oh,
saying.
that's
Yeah. Like we're done with this internet drama, but here comes some more internet drama. This is what keeps me up at night. I fucking hate when people are so good at playing video games that they just decimate anybody that they play against, and they're not even in like a world championship league. They're just a bunch of fucking losers who probably still live at home with mom or in a fucking wage income based rental or whatever you want to call it, like an apartment complex. But they play so well at video games, they decimate people like me who just want to hop on for like fucking half an hour to an hour at a time, and then like I'm running through the map 5 seconds in, gunned down. You know, it takes longer to respawn than it does for me to die most of the time. And then they have those Call of Duty games now where you die once and then you go to a gulag and then you got to fight somebody else who's been killed, but they've been playing the game for fucking ever.
Oh yeah, no, I know this. Like,
Yeah.
but the scary thing is that makes me upset about that is that they're like 7-year-olds sometimes.
So that's true too. But what gets me is this like fucking move on to another game. If you've already gotten that good, fucking move on. Give people like me a chance to enjoy myself. That's why I play fucking one-player story RPG games now. Ugh.
I get it. I totally get your grief with it all. But I don't know if you're realizing these people are getting paid to be that good at games, and so
All of
what
them?
they're doing, they have to keep up a certain fucking stat ratio in these games anyway.
Crazy.
And they get paid a lot of money to do these things. So you were saying they probably live at home with their mothers or in some
probably
sort
don't.
of income-based
Probably
living.
living in a nicer
Some
place
of
than
them
me.
do, I'm sure.
But then
But
some
I'm saying
of them are
there's
making
like
a lot.
also some of them who are fucking rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's
They
a
get
couple
paid a
WoW
lot.
streamers, World of
Yeah.
Warcraft streamers that make
even
bank-
WoW streaming, dude.
because
any
all
kind of
they-
video game streaming,
Jesus.
because people
Yeah.
pay to watch their stream. Like, how do I play this class? I don't know how to play a shaman.
People look that up
man.
like that.
I love World of Warcraft. On
Yeah,
the side
yeah.
note,
Oh.
I played that shit so much. Yeah.
You
still
guys
play?
are two peas in a pot.
I have an account, but I was playing with some friends, and then I stopped for a bit, and then they all jumped server. So I don't really want to pay to jump server, and
I'll pay for you to join my server.
I know Burning Crusade is gonna be re-released.
Oh, you do original. You do classic.
I do vanilla.
Okay.
I am so lost.
Yeah.
You don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm
I
not.
played the version of the game that came out in like 2005.
I don't even-
Essentially.
That's so long ago.
I think it's 2005, even earlier.
I think
maybe.
it's like 2003 or 2000.
Yeah.
I may have to
'Cause
look
I
this
was
up.
playing it as a little kid. My brother had an account.
You
and I was
must have
playing
been.
on- Yeah.
Wow, that's a similar. That's how I
played
started.
it for years, and then I dropped out because my computer shit on me, and then I had other interests like music and trying to get my pee-pee touched. And
That's horseshit.
Avid goals.
it is horseshit because it didn't happen.
Except by my uncle.
All that
No, I'm
time
just
wasted. I couldn't play WoW.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Harrison, what fucking
Keeps you
what
up
was
at
it?
night.
Keeps you up at night. Yeah.
Well, this may be a bit touchy because it's irrational, and it has nothing to do with much of anything, but just people who say trust fund people who just or people with absorbent amounts of money that can live lavish lifestyles and still find shit to complain about. And it's like, man, people are so much worse off than you are, but man, you can't get that nice car or that
Is it
Super yacht.
So is it the money aspect or the finding shit to complain about aspect, or is it both?
I think it's the mixture of the two.
Okay, because I will say, while I don't like people who are like that, at the same time I can respect that like you don't get to choose when you're born how much money your family has.
I
You
do
know?
feel there's a nurture
Right,
there's
versus
a way to
nature.
choose what to
There's a way to
complain
handle
about.
There's a
Yeah.
nurture
Yeah.
versus
There's a
nature.
way to
So if
handle
you're
that.
raised
Yeah,
properly,
exactly.
which I
No.
feel like Bill
And-
Gates'
yeah.
kids, like they were, dude's a tycoon, like, or whatever. Like he knows how to run his shit, and his kids didn't get a fucking dime. He basically is like, hey, you figure it out. And it's like, but all these, and that's where it's unfortunate, I feel, for our generation to have so many people just coming into people like Rockefeller money, where it's like, that's not like you don't even know what it's like to sacrifice everything to build an empire. But you're like, well, no, I've worked hard for my money. Like,
Yeah, no, I mean,
and I've worked hard to put your teeth on this curb and stomp on the back of your head.
Jesus
But
Christ.
and that's
I don't know about that, dude.
no, and that's where
Hey,
it's
fair
what
enough.
keeps me up at night, because and it's more or less because I'm jaded because of my situation, I feel.
Okay.
So it's how I was raised, how I grew up, and no, it's like and it's like I said, irrational. I know it's not okay. Trying to be a bigger boy, so. But
Time
it
to
keeps
be
me
a
up.
big boy now.
Yeah, I'm a big boy, so I gotta put my big boy pants on.
I
I
worked
gotta
with
tie my shoes and make sure I change my.
So I
underwear
know it's
when
not
I'm
right.
16.
I worked with a trust fund kid before. He didn't work at the place too long just because he didn't need the job. And honestly, I was actually surprised he took it because he didn't need it.
And I
but
think it's
I feel like
jealousy.
he at least tried to get a job. I don't know, but
But it's like it's the fact that you can do things and have experiences that a lot of people will never have. And again, I honestly feel it's just because, well, there's so many people in the world. A lot of people aren't going to have that opportunity. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Well, it's crazy, like considering. Well, I think one of the bigger points here is the fact that a lot of people like to complain here in this country about stupid shit when there's third
I mean,
world
we have
countries.
a whole podcast about that.
Right, totally. But like, there's places that are still at war in fucking Africa and shit like that, and
yeah,
Dude,
child
there's-
slavery
I
is
was gonna say,
prevalent.
I know.
there's still slaves.
I know,
there's
it's just
still
like all that-
genocides,
all
like,
that.
It's still going on.
Body
and it's-
mutilation,
and so then
depending on your
it's-
gender, because of you. Oh, you hit puberty. Oh, now you need to get basically castrated like females in certain parts of Africa. It's like
yeah, so
That's scary
it's
shit.
just hilarious that what people complain about here. Like I was listening to the podcast the other day, and they were talking about how people were actually calling in during the pandemic. They're calling 911 because their their DoorDash was like half an hour late.
Give me a fucking break. You're bullshitting.
I'm not. Like this
There's
is on Is We Dummies.
way
I believe this
you're
was Is We Dummies with Dan Cummins, actually, the podcast. They went over a bunch of accounts of people calling in because their food was just late or some other bullshit.
Okay.
They're calling 911. So
It's a pretty normal thing.
there were phone lines getting
my
hung
shit's late
up.
all the time.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna call the cops about it.
there's like somebody out there getting shot, and they're like calling in, and they're like, I gotta. Oh no, hold on, we got somebody else. I was wondering where their burgers are at. Like, yeah, so like, yeah, the type of shit people complain
Can't
about
even
is just
believe
hilarious.
that's like a real thing. I mean, I can believe it's a real thing,
But that's
just
That's what
my
kind of
brain is
humanity.
short-circuiting right
That's what
now.
kind of humanity there is today. But let's get off of the dark humanity side of things. And,
Yeah, let's lighten this
freshen
shit
it
up.
up for sure.
So you brought
Freshen
me a
up.
movie today.
Oh boy, are we
Tried to
doing
talk
this?
we've tried to talk about it a few fucking times, and every time we do, something goes wrong with the audio. So it has not been out on either of the previous podcasts.
I don't know if I want to talk about it again.
Then we won't.
mean, we
I
will.
can go watch it.
We will,
and then
but-
we can talk about it. But
I just
no, we don't got to talk about
I'm
it
in
right
fear of the audio getting lost again.
now. No, we're looking.
You know
we're
what
looking
keeps
good,
me up
man.
at night?
The audio getting fucked.
Oh my god! But
It's
yeah,
very real, though.
yeah, it totally is.
It's very real.
It keeps me up at night. It definitely keeps me. Okay, so like we'll get into it, and I actually have it here with me because I brought it for Zach to borrow and watch. And Harrison, you can check it out when he's done with it. It's
I mean, there's illegal pirate torrent sites all over.
All right, I like to buy my shit. So it's called Jack Brooks Monster Slayer, and for actors, it's got Trevor Matthews, and he's a Canadian guy, I think. I don't know if anybody knows who that is, but it's got Robert Englund in it, and he is the original Freddy Krueger
Fuck yeah.
from
Sure is.
Friday. I was gonna say Friday the 13th. What am I talking?
Nightmare on Elm
Nightmare on Elm
Street.
Street.
Yeah, we know what you meant, buddy.
Yeah,
Everybody, you said Freddy Krueger.
I'm an
Everybody
idiot, but
already knew
people
what
know
kind
what I
of fan
mean.
he is.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's got this cheesy ass just cover. Like, Zach, how would you describe it? It's got like this holographic
alright.
backdrop
So,
to it.
it is a dude who is like too fucking ripped, but not as ripped as his shirt.
Yeah,
It is
That's a
all
good-
over the fucking place. He has what looks like a fucking wrench in his
Yeah, probably. He's a
a
plumber.
monkey wrench.
He's a
and
plumber.
and a pipe.
Yeah.
And his work belt and his blue jeans. Of course, he's got his trucker hat, but he's also surrounded by snakes. And there's two monsters in the background. Look like they're gonna come eat him.
Yeah, they're probably
He also
gonna
has
try.
blood on him, which is interesting.
Yeah, but it's like super cheesy though.
It looks like a
I would say-
crazy graphic novel that's like trying to be funny.
yeah.
It's like Garbage Pail Kids mixed with Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering.
Not to, especially because it's holographic.
Yeah,
Like, what the
the
hell?
holographic look at it. But oh yeah, and apparently I'm just gonna stick with Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm more interested
Garbage Pail
because
Kids.
my name is Zach Brooks and his name is Jack Brooks.
Yeah, and that's
So-
actually brought up in the movie too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's and I mean not the fact that your name is
No,
Zach.
I fucking know that. Wait, I'm not in the movie? What are you talking about?
Oh my god! So like in the movie, it's loaded with hilarious scenes, but it gets kind of brutal at times too. But it's loaded with hilarious scenes, and one of them that's really funny and that I enjoy is a part where one of the guys that he is going to class with, Jack, is going to class with this guy, and they're talking out the parking lot, and the guy just keeps calling him Zach, this, Zach that. And then Jack just keeps going, it's Jack. And then even though he keeps like telling him like his name is Jack, the guy keeps telling him, Zach, calm down. And anyway, so like this guy, he's got a really bad temper. Like the movie starts off with him going camping with his family when he's like 10 or whatever years old. And he's dancing with his sister. It's night, and his parents are dancing around the fire. And there's this old song that you guys would probably recognize. It's kind of like a classic song that you'd recognize. But that's playing in the background, and that comes back later on in the movie.
Born in the USA.
No, not that terrible
Great.
trash.
I fucking hate Springsteen.
Okay. So yeah, so like they're all dancing around the fire pit, and the kids are dancing, and the sister's just fooling around, and she starts twirling away off the campsite near the bushes, and all of a sudden, these monster arms just reach out and grab her, just pick her up and bring her into the trees, and she's just getting shredded. Like you hear screaming, and she's getting shredded to pieces, and then it stops. And then the monster jumps out. It's called a forest troll, or like a woods troll. The troll jumps out and starts attacking his mom and his dad. And his dad just tells him to run. And he's like hyperventilating. He's like scared. He doesn't know what to do. So he fucking takes off. And, then the next scene, and these are probably the best scenes in the movie. He's stopping by Jack Brooks grows up, and like he's in his 20s, and he's going to see his therapist. Like, he doesn't have a scheduled appointment or anything. He just stops by. And, like, those are the best scenes because he's always just stopping by. He doesn't actually have a visit. Like, he stops by, he freaks out, he comes back to apologize about freaking out, and then he freaks out again in the next one. It's just like, it just builds and builds. It's hilarious. But those are the best scenes, and it's so ridiculous to the point where, like, he just comes in wearing a bandage on his arm or on his hand, and he's just like, "How you doing, Doc?" And he's like, "I'm fine, Jack. How about you?" He's like, "What happened to your hand there?" He's like, "Well, I gotta get a new toaster. Well, the hand it's because I was working at this place. This place is like a Chinese restaurant called Wong's. And like I hate eating there, but they're." Egg rolls are actually pretty good or something like that. So he's like fixing the toilet, and apparently the toilet explodes, and the Chinese owner is like yelling at him in Chinese. Like, he's like yelling at me in Chinese. I don't even fucking speak Chinese. And he's just like flipping out in the therapist room, and he's just like reliving the moment. And then he's talking about how he gets back home to his apartment. He's screaming. His neighbor's yelling at him to quiet down. He punches his neighbor. He busts his hand up, and then he's throwing around his toaster. And now he's got to go to Walmart to get a new toaster. Like, he completely negates the fact that he just busted his hand on some guy's face or whatever, and I don't know.
He's pissed about the toast.
yeah. I don't know. There's such great scenes, but the movie's got a couple of the therapist scenes, and he's just got a bad temper, and he's going to school, and so the movie kind of starts off slow, gives Jack a good backstory, but then like the last half hour of it is just fucking solid, just him slaying the monsters. And Robert Englund actually plays the professor that turns into like the main monster in it, and so that's kind of cool. He's like a cult horror classic sort of actor from the past.
Everybody recognizes him, even if you don't know his name. You see him,
you
would
like,
I know that guy.
Did he ever get that new toaster?
I don't think he got that new toaster.
I don't know.
No, but like the last half hour, it is so good because he's got this.
I was gonna say, I remember you mentioning how much you liked about it was how it was made.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because that's like I think a big
so
thing about
what's
it.
really cool about it, and this is like one of my big fetishes, if you want to call it that. I love movies without CGI. I like it when they do like the old fashioned just costumes
Practical
and animatronics
effects,
and
sure.
stuff like that. And so this movie is made entirely without CGI. There's this costume for a Cyclops in the movie. The Cyclops is only in the movie for like a 5 to 7 minute total within his 2 scenes sort of thing. And they spent just weeks and weeks just getting this large clay model, like man size, just like sculpted out. They got all the details on it, and then they had to like make the form on that clay model, and they just spent weeks just painting it up and just making all the grooves. And it was just really cool that they spent all that time just on something that was only in the movie for just a few minutes total screen time. But like the large monster in the movie, he's like partly animatronic and whatnot, but he's got these tentacles, and so they couldn't just make the tentacles just like fly out straight, kind of grabbing people, so they had to do everything in reverse. And so they would drag the tentacles back to the room and then play that in reverse to make it look like the tentacles are going out to grab.
Yeah.
So it looks just kind of cheesy in that sense, but it's overall it's edited really well. It's like an A movie, I would say. B movie,
like a straight to DVD movie.
Is it? Yeah, I guess it would.
It's
be.
like a B
It
or
is a
C
B
movie.
Yeah, it was made
But
in
it's
2008.
Is that what it was? We were wondering about that last time.
It's in the back. You can see it on the bottom there, it says trademark
But
of 2008.
it's such a good movie. I love it. I struggle with like a temper problem, and watching this guy go through life with his temper problem and then finally getting to use that rage on fucking monsters. Okay, so that song comes back, and when he's running from the monsters, that song comes on and just like makes him click and think about his family. And then he's like, I couldn't do something about it then. I can do something about it now. And now he's got all this rage inside of him, and he goes to fuck shit up with these monsters. Like, it's a happy ending, believe me. Like, it's fucking great. Like, he kills the monsters, he gets the girl sort of ending. Like, it's such a good movie. But yeah,
I was reading the back of this for a second. Could I read this?
Go for it. Yeah.
Radio voice.
Yes, go
I mean,
for it. I want to hear your radio.
My
voice.
radio voice is basically just my voice, except I make it more pronounced. But
Go for it.
all right. Gotta prep a little bit. I'm actually gonna try to read this like a fucking movie trailer.
Oh, next summer.
It's,
like that.
yeah, right. Not
Ooh,
not
I
my radio
kinda
voice,
wanna
but-
try.
All right, so, all right. Ever since he watched monsters brutally slaughter his family during a childhood camping trip, local plumber Jack Brooks has had a major anger management issue. That wasn't very clean at first, but that's okay. But when a busted pipe bursts... Oh, wow, I already fucked that up. Never mind, I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to read it normally, because I'm going to just...
Well, I was
keep looking
just going to suggest, what if we had like a little competition here? We each read it off, and then in the comments below, people can
Rate, yeah.
who did the best sort of thing.
All right. I'll get back on track. Sorry.
tortilla boy.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Pablo Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Fucking blast from the past. Probably about the time he was popular was when this movie was made.
Probably. That's about right.
But when a bust pipe disturbs an ancient evil, Jack will unwittingly unleash a force that transforms his kindly night school professor into a ravenous... Fuck, I need new glasses,
Such a weird
Yeah,
thing.
this is a terrible synopsis.
Who wrote this?
Who wrote this
Fun.
shit?
This is going to be fun.
No,
This is nothing like you explained, Vince.
Right.
Ravenous tentacled, infectious beast from hell. Even if Jack can no longer run from the demons of his past, can he at least hack them to pieces before they devour his entire class? What is this? Rachel Starstein, Birds of Prey.
Sounds like
and James A. Woods co-star in this over-the-top international film festival sensation that Fangoria hails as a gore-oozing homage to wild and crazy 80s horror.
This totally sounds like something I would have tried to have copy and
last
pasted
section.
and plagiarized, and then try to tweak a couple words, and then finally set out my final project. This sounds like something I would have terribly plagiarized and written myself. I don't know if that's clear, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Nah.
It's hard to read though. I get what you're saying. The black.
Well, I was trying to
the
read
black
it, but then I
backdrop.
realized I have shit vision, so I had to pull it closer, and then I messed it up really bad, and then the last bit sounded a lot better than the beginning. I had to pull it basically up to this microphone and up to my eyeballs, so...
Well, there's not.
But
as
I
many,
got it at the end there.
There's not as many swears in here as you were reading.
Oh, really? Maybe I'm dyslexic.
I don't
Shit.
see a single fuck in here, actually.
No, I don't believe you.
I thought it was just terribly written.
Maybe I'll try and pepper one in. All right. Ever since
It's tough, dude. That's tough.
I'm already like laughing on the inside.
Sorry.
All right. Let's see here. I got some light on my side now. Ever since he watched monsters brutally slaughter his family during a childhood camping trip.
Yo, you got it.
Local plumber.
It's tough, man. It's like
Local plumber. I love just how that was written. Local plumber Jack Brooks has had major anger management issues. But when a busted pipe disturbs an ancient evil, Jack will unwittingly unleash a force that transforms his kindly night... I can't believe I had that kind of trouble saying kindly for a second. All right. His kindly night school professor, played by Robert Englund, into a ravenous, tentacled, infectious beast from hell. Even if Jack can no longer run from the demons of his past, can he at least hack them to pieces before they devour his entire class? Rachel Scarston, Birds of Prey, and James A. Woods co-star in this over-the-top international film festival. Oh, goddamn. I don't know why I just said that in the voice. Film festival sensation that Fangoria hails as a gore-oozing homage to the wild and crazy 80s horror. And cut. That was my go.
Once you got in the swing of it, it reminded me of like a fucking like one of those like raunchy comedies. And me like, and then he goes over here.
Oh,
and
totally.
does this.
Yeah. Oh.
And then he meets Cameron Diaz.
Like, What About Mary?
Oh, there's something about
There's something about Mary. That's what it is. Oh, What About Bob?
What About Bob's good.
There's something about Mary is the movie I was thinking about.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
that's hilarious. All right.
Sorry.
All right, Harrison, what do you got? What do you got, homie?
All right. Ever since he watched monsters brutally slaughter his family during a childhood camping trip, local plumber Jack Brooks, Trevor Matthews, has had major anger management issues. But when a busted pipe disturbs an ancient evil, Jack will unwittingly unleash a force that transforms his kindly night school professor, Robert Freddy Krueger, England, into a ravenous, tentacled, infectious beast from hell. Even if Jack can no longer run from the demons of his past, he can at least hack them to pieces before they devour his entire class. Rachel Scarston, Birds of Prey, and James A. Woods co-star in this over-the-top international film festival sensation the Fangoria hails as a gore-oozing homage to a wild and crazy 80s horror.
Damn.
That
man.
was fucking great. Wow. You
I
really
was
are.
the third one.
Dude,
I was the last one to go. I got it like, all right, I better not fuck this up.
I gotta say, you really have to
That
be a
sounded great.
psychopath because you held it together that entire fucking time. That was great.
fucking laughing while we were reading it.
Oh my god.
Just
that was
television.
so good.
You can't think about their pain. I mean, other people looking at you.
Oh my god. That was pretty good though.
That was great.
But we already know who the winner of that was. But if you want to let us know in the comments on YouTube, who do you think had the best readout of Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer?
Not even worth commenting. I think
Why not? This will
we
be
know.
fun.
I was just saying. I think we already know, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
No,
just
you're
don't
right.
see how
I
this
mean,
guy
yeah.
can be that ripped because clearly it means he has a lot of testosterone. He has a lot of facial hair in this cover, and he is like twink shaven. He has no body hair on his actual like
I don't know
chest.
if you really see his.
No, in this cover, that's what I'm saying.
no.
I'm sorry, it's an ad lib fact, but you
he's
think about
clearly
but,
painted. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's like a romance novel, you know. It's like one of those.
but you understand. But it's
Yeah,
like
I get what you're
he's
saying.
like he's supposed to be like a
like, shaves
man, like
himself.
with a beard, but then it's like he's like
He's got,
shaven. Yeah.
all over, like no nipple hair. Like
Maybe-
I mean, I'm not even a hairy person, but I have like at least a
I
little
have
bit
a
of
few.
nipple
I
hair.
have a few.
Yeah.
He could
I have
just
one
be.
little chest hair right in the middle. It's just like
He
boop,
could just
like
be
popping it up.
naturally hairless.
That's true. Alopecia.
What's that?
Hey man,
It's when you don't have. Yeah, when you
Is that-
lose hair. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, when you lose hair. Oh, I was
Yeah.
talking about like.
Or if you can't grow hair, like it's like there's different forms of it. I'm pretty sure.
Shit, I don't
Yeah.
want to get into that. 'cause
That's a real thing, man.
I know my stuff's thinning up top.
that could be genetic though. It depends
Oh.
how it thins. It really is.
I have no fucking clue. I imagine it's genetic.
Trust me,
though.
all my hair fell out. I talked to my doctor thoroughly about why the fuck it's happening because I'm 20 something years old.
And your hair looks a lot better. Doesn't it?
Besides one little patch.
But overall, dude, fucking looks a lot better than what I remember. And we don't have to get into it, but it looks fucking
I
fantastic.
looked like a
now.
dog with severe mange. You can say it.
He looked like
Damn.
he looked like
I wouldn't
Butters.
have ever
He
said
looks
that,
like
but-
Butters in the episode where the kids are playing with a ninja star and throw it in his eye, and they fucking like.
No, I can attest to
Oh
that.
my god! I just like laughed way too hard into that. such a good episode. Oh my god. Yeah, that's what you're doing. The barking. Bring him to the veteran.
No, Bettis, we can't take you to there.
Oh my god.
Take you to the hospital.
Look what they did to this poor dog.
That's right. They actually believe
drop him off at the real hospital, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this poor animal!
Do this to a dog."
Oh god. That was hilarious. Yeah. Good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next? What are we gonna move on to?
What are we gonna move on to, dude?
I mean,
yeah, you know what? I didn't want to bring it back to that dark place, but we had that fucking shooting. I feel like that something worth mentioning. There's that big shooting that happened in, was it Boulder, Colorado? That guy fucking walked into the grocery store and shot 10 people.
Yeah, I was at a grocery
fucking
store.
crazy.
That's right. I don't know much about it.
I mean,
but
to the families, that sucks. Like, fucking condolences. That's just some crazy shit. I can't believe that goes on. I mean, okay, was it since the...
back to normal.
Yeah, I guess we don't want to get back into this kind of talk, do we? Yeah, that's too dark. I mean, we're here. I already brought it here. I'm an asshole, hey? No. But, like, I
It's
think...
where I
you
live
big
on a
meanie.
daily basis, so
I
it's
think I
all
heard
right.
something-
big meanie.
I think I heard something that, like, since things have been opening up, or since the start of the year, we've already had, like, 102 mass shootings or something like that. And that was, like, the second one, maybe, that I've heard about. That
Well,
actually
yeah, a
made
lot
news.
of them are actually gang related.
Most
A
of
mass
them are.
shooting is anything over. It changes in definition, but it's
There
3
you
to
go.
4 people
Okay.
or more.
I mean, that makes sense
It's like
because
so it could be
Chicago
3 or
is...
more or 4 or more, and yeah, exactly. A lot of it is gang related.
Yeah,
so
dude,
of course they're not going to talk.
I
about
was
it.
just talking to my little brother about
Well,
drill music the other day. Do
About
you know
what
what
music?
drill music? Do you know what that is? Okay, so, you know how I've told you I keep up on like on YouTube shootings of rappers and stuff like that, and a lot of the times there are rappers in Chicago getting shot. Well, Chicago is like the birthplace, I want to say. I believe I'm getting it right, of drill music. And came up around the time of Chief Keef, if you've ever heard of him.
I sure have.
Okay, so he came out of Chicago, and he was like I think he started the bandwagon of drill music. So what drill music is music calling out your ops, which is oppositions. So like their rival gang members, they're calling out their ops, not just live ones, but dead ones, and they would diss the dead ones, and then they'll call out ops that they're talking about putting in the crosshairs. So it's essentially music talking about targeting rival gang members, dissing on old ones or dead ones, and just
Like
putting
ultimate
out
disrespect.
Yeah,
On the
yeah,
dead
it's-
ones, and then
and it just
calling out the current ones.
yeah, and it just goes
okay.
back and forth between these rival rappers essentially until one of them or both of them get shot. There's been cases where like just hours after one of these rappers have put out a diss track, hours after he was gunned down. Like there was a case of FBG Duck. He was a member of a Chicago rap. I guess he was like the main rapper in the gang or whatever. But there's like gangster disciples and then gangster disciple killers and whatnot. Like those are two different gangs, and he was from one of the less prominent ones, and he was coming up, and he ended up getting targeted in a hit. He was shopping in one of the high class shopping centers in Chicago with his girlfriend and a friend or something like that. And in the middle of the day, a car pulled up. 2 guys, I want to say, popped out, pistols and started just firing at him, Glocks or whatever. And he pulled out a gun that was visible in one of his recent music videos. He pulled out a gun to fire back. The thing jammed. Didn't even get a shot off. So here he was pulling up what he thought would be protection. Fucking jammed on him, and he just got riddled with bullets. But like, drill music is from that scene essentially of like, so there's like this entire genre of rap music, and it's like, it's so sad because these artists are just getting killed one after another. And like, you might say, oh, any rapper that comes out with a song is getting killed. Like, they're not all big rappers. Who cares? They're still fucking kids that are getting shot and killed over stupid, senseless violence. And it's just really sad. But I keep up on that stuff, and it's crazy to the point where, like, last year, there's this channel that puts out videos of rappers shot in 2020 or whatever year you want to talk about. And in 2020, they released so many different videos, but it's like rapper shot in 2020. And they're only like a part of the way through the year. And they're already up to like 18, 20 rappers. And then they go on and make 9 to 10 to 11 more segments of this video, or of these kind of videos of like 18 to 20 more rappers who got killed in 2020. And so at the end, you start totaling it all up. It's just like in the hundreds of rappers, and that's just from fucking Chicago, essentially. I mean, it's just,
man. No, it's fucked.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of violence out there.
Yeah, and I watched this documentary about how like the governors, like, they want to clear up the street violence and they want to do something about it. Like, people want to do something about the street violence, but the people who are getting elected into these positions
don't do anything about it.
well, not just that, but they would never invite the people from the streets to hear what it is they actually need. Like, imagine a bunch of old white politicians reaching out to and I don't hate me for this, but the slums of Chicago, let's say, right? And they're like, look, guys, we want to stop the violence. How can we help you guys to stop this senseless violence so you guys can stop killing one another? Well, they can't, because he killed my cousin. And so, I mean,
so deeply rooted now. It's basically like feuds, like the Hatfields and McCoys, like
right. So like, it's
hog folk and dog folk. Like, nope, they don't mix.
It's right, like Harrison said. It's so deeply rooted. It's like, can we even do anything about it now? But like, they do want to do something about it. Like, the people in the streets, even though they're fighting for their lives, like, they don't even want to be doing this shit anymore. But like, that's just life now, and it's fucking crazy to think, because here I am, pretty much raised in the UP. You know, like, nothing really happens up here. I think in my entire time I've lived up here, there might have been 2 murders or something like that. And to think that these kids just grow up by the age of 10 or 12, they're already smoking, they're already had their hand on a gun, they're probably joining a gang, they're already running in a gang at 12. I've heard stories of 12-year-olds actually shooting people and shit like that. Like, it's I mean, that's their names are not public record.
Oh yeah, like Breaking Bad style, like an 11-year-old on a bike just pulling out a gun and popping off.
What gangs do is they will get
to show
a
that
child
you're
early, and then they will get them complicit in a crime.
Indoctrinated.
So that it's like, you have, like, oh, you're part of this now. And,
yeah.
Like, if anything happens, then you're going down too.
Right.
And, like, and then they show them, like,
and scare them into thinking, like, hey, there's no way out.
Well, they lure them by showing them, like, the lavish side. It's like, oh, I got all this money. Like, oh yeah, you can buy whatever you want. You know, you got this, you got that. Oh, you can just take whatever you want over here, like that kind of stuff. And then they're like, oh, hey, we want you to deliver these drugs over to these people over here, you know.
And if you
and
don't,
then you do it a few more times, and then they're like paying you pretty good, and then they're like, oh yeah, and then they like indoctrinate you, and then they're like, hey, we need you to kill somebody, you know, and if not, then we're gonna kill you,
right? And
that kind of shit.
I've seen a video. These are more videos that I'll look for, but interview with actual hitmen from like Mexican cartels, and there's this one guy who's actually giving his story on the first time he actually killed somebody for the cartel, essentially. And it was essentially done the way you're talking about, how it started off with small time things here and there, and then all of a sudden he was brought out in the middle of the desert. I don't know what time of day, just brought out to the middle of the desert, and there was somebody that he was told to kill, and obviously it wasn't said, but you can imagine that if he wasn't to kill this guy, he would probably get killed himself. And it's just like, that's how it all started, and he became a hitman. So that wasn't the last time he pulled the trigger, and like, that's just how things went for him. Like, it's fucking crazy.
And again, not to bring it to the dark side, but neither of you ever think about, man, you don't wish you had that job and taking shitty people off this planet. I'm not necessarily saying,
well, the thing is, with a hitman, you don't get to choose who's a shitty person, who's a good person.
I guess that's where the line of
whoever.
Morality is, I guess. So.
I mean, like, I don't know, man. I live my life on the non-aggression principle. Like, don't get me wrong, I believe in self-defense and self-preservation, but I don't believe in violence against anybody. Like, it's completely uncalled for, I think. I think we have, as humans, you know, we've evolved from other animals far enough that we are able to, you know, make things out of matter. You know, we use our brains in a different capacity than other animals, and so we don't have to kill each other anymore. That's the thing. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, there's always going to be conflict, there's always going to be violence, but I don't see any good need for it, and I won't perpetuate violence if I can help it. Yeah, I'll defend myself and the people I care about, but I won't, like, go out seeking violence, and I don't condone it at all, you know?
No, I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my question to you. Like,
yeah.
So say like for me, this is what kind of I would kind of debate about in high school and everything, but like the death penalty is a huge topic.
Sure.
Huge issue. For me, my whole side is, okay, say this person admits, it's like, yeah, okay, I did kill these 8 people. Yeah, no, I raped them and I bound and tortured them and then ate a couple of them. And admits to it, and then there's multiple psychiatrists that deem them fit for trial. And it's like, so why are we spending thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, upwards into the possible millions of taxpayers' dollars
to house them for like 40
house them
years
and
like, then kill them,
and to appeal their death sentence?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, no, he has his rights as a human. He shouldn't be. It's like he wasn't thinking about that when he took multiple family. It's like, so my whole thing is, what if there was a third person government agency that was contracted, kind of like Blackwater, like. Hey, I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
like, and then
I'm
goes into the. It's like a 9mm round costs less than a fucking $1 if you're recharging it yourself, and then say, but yeah, it's like It's like, oh no, we don't know what happened to that prisoner. It's like, but when a prisoner gets shanked, it's the same thing. Oh, that's not documented. That's not mattered about. When it's gang violence, it's okay. But if somebody's
it's not
like,
okay though. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
No, it's not okay. But in the sense of the bigger picture, say we're tax-paying citizens. We pay taxes.
Yeah.
Correct.
I do. Yeah.
So
I'm assuming.
hopefully a lot. Like, wait, you guys have
you work for the Fed. I'm assuming you pay taxes.
Yeah.
you file taxes? Oh shit!
Oh shit! Oh, that's what all those fucking.
No, but
They,
so
they've
for
got
me,
me
it's-
pegged. I don't need a microchip.
It's for me. It's like I'm not an aggressor or anything, but I also feel like if it's for the better of humanity, like why are we keeping people around that could
But
that are
Well,
not-
because
but okay, so the death.
if a
penalty is
dog
whole
bites
different thing.
no, but if a dog bites a child, that dog gets put down. But if a human molests, rapes, and kidnaps a child, that guy gets no less than 15 years to 20 years in prison. Then he's left out and he has to mark himself a registered sex offender.
I'm not disagreeing with your point at all.
Well,
I have a
totally
thing
get it.
against pedos, man.
I mean, I think
And
I think
anyone who's-
any rational person does.
But
I
then
mean,
that's where it's like, I understand,
What?
but there's a lot of there's a certain thing. It's a Roman belief basically where it's like if you're a soldier.
well, the Romans were fucked.
No, like, but it's an interesting concept because it is very kind of interesting to think about. Like,
that, yeah.
if like you're a soldier, when you die, you get based on your duties as a soldier. Like clearly as a soldier, you're expected to protect the kingdom, all that like that. But if you're a homekeeper, if you're a wife or say a priest or something like that, and then you murder someone, then yeah, clearly that's a sin at the end of your life. But you know what I mean? So it's like everyone has their own different moral codes that they're born to withhold, I feel.
I've got this like long running connected thought real quick. Okay, so in this book that I brought along, The Righteous Mind, they talk about how one quote somebody had made in the past was something like, the only real reason for anybody to cause harm to one person is to keep others from being harmed, right? And so in the sense, and I don't agree with it at all, because I think pedos should probably just whatever too. But here's the thing, like when you look at it like that, if they're already incarcerated, they're not really in harm of harming anybody else from this point on. So therefore, there's no need to then harm them, right? Like
I think it depends on the degree of the crime, the number of crimes, and
Right.
I think it's all very much it depends on the circumstance
statutes.
of
Oh, totally.
of the situation.
Like clearly
If
somebody shouldn't be put to death or anything like that if they killed
Yeah.
somebody. Like if it's gang
But-
activity, man, you're indoctrinated. I feel there should be a lot of leeway, a lot of
But if
leisure for
somebody's
that.
a serial murderer who clearly does not have any regard for human life,
Yeah.
why would we spend so much money keeping? Like I'm for the death
Yeah.
penalty, but I think it needs to be very.
and
Adamant. Like
Yeah, it needs to be very specific in
For
what
sure.
constitutes
Because
that. It's like no chance of reform. You've harmed like more
Right.
a certain amount
like the
of people.
BTK killer when it's
Yeah,
like
like,
he
yeah,
had
like,
diaries, he had like they had connections. He sent notes to the police. It's like or
Right.
Ted Bundy.
they're
same
giving
thing.
they're giving
Like,
them sentences where it's like, 170 years plus 75 plus 75. Like, fucking kill him. Like,
Right?
But but of course we have our justice system for a reason, because there have been people who were completely innocent of that shit. But at the same time, I was gonna say innocent people don't plead guilty, but that's actually not true, because innocent people do get pressured into confessing to crimes they didn't commit.
They run out of funds. They don't have enough money to continue the trial.
Even just pressure from investigators, they'll break you down.
Like gaslighting.
They can break you down for 48 hours. They won't let you sleep.
Yeah.
They'll keep coming and fuck with you. They won't let you use the bathroom. They literally rattle your core until you're willing to say anything just to get out of that fucking room. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. But nowadays, it's so hard to get away with shit like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, thankfully.
And that's why it's so when it does happen, where it's like, okay, we have 3 cameras showing him killing 3 different people in the same night.
Oh, I thought you meant it's not easy for investigators to get away with that as much anymore.
Oh, yeah, that too. But it's both ways. It goes both ways.
For sure. Yeah, it works. I was just oh, wait, no. Because they're I think now
there's
more
a lot
than ever,
more.
there's more kind of the attention to how police and investigators are conducting their work.
Mm-hmm.
There's even more of a fucking magnifying glass on it. So, and then yes,
rightfully
it's a lot easier to get caught
so.
for crimes now too, because of all the ways we can.
You can just track each street cam. Oh, he went from that cam. Oh, that store to that store.
But
okay,
I have to say though, the whole process and the whole court systems needs to be fucking figured out, because I mean, there's tons of stories like this out there, but I remember a very good story about some guy who was wrongly convicted of a murder or something like that. And he went to prison for some 30 years, I want to say. And all the while, he's still trying to fight this case. And at some point, somebody in the evidence room who has nothing to do with the case or something like that finds some evidence that was not brought up in the trial. And so it was sent out to the defendant's team, his lawyers, and a retrial happened, and he ended up getting out of prison because this evidence showed that he was not guilty of the murder, right? So he was let out of prison, and 30 days later, something like that, they came and got him out of his front yard while he was fucking grilling out with his daughter or something like that, just enjoying life, because they had to repeal the decision because the evidence wasn't brought up in the first trial, and because
double jeopardy.
It was illegally sent, essentially. I don't want to say it was illegally sent, but it wasn't asked by the defendant's team because they had no knowledge of it, and so therefore they couldn't use the evidence because it wasn't apparent to them or something.
Yeah, it wasn't in discovery.
That's
a really common.
It was
Yeah.
discovered in an appropriate manner for them.
So this
use.
guy who's completely innocent of the crime, who's been proven innocent of the crime, is now back to jail, prison, living out the rest of the sentence, and
that's
totally fucking innocent. That's insane. And so I don't know.
Why don't we lighten it up a little?
Yeah.
bit?
Hey. Yeah.
So what are your guys' most irrational fears?
Rational fears, is that really? I guess that is kind of lighten things up.
It is. It's irrational.
Because it's irrational.
Not okay, no, I'm really scared of getting stabbed in the rib.
Yeah.
No.
Irrational fears.
You go ahead. I got to think about this.
I can start it. I mean,
I'm scared by little rodents biting me, like a little rabbit or something, or anybody's pet animal. If you have a gerbil and you're gonna try handing it to me, I don't want to hold it because I just think it's gonna try biting me. It's just a weird real fear that I have.
No, man, I that thing's gonna bite me. No, man, it won't.
Yeah,
no, it will.
It's gonna bite me. It always bites me.
Yeah, mine are sharks. So
that's not irrational to me.
It is when you grow up in Phoenix, Arizona, and you're swimming in a lake or say somebody's pool that's chlorinated, and you're like, no, I don't know.
Might be
Can you
sharks
turn
in that shit.
Can you turn the light on so I can see? I don't want to
mean. When I was younger, so I grew up here, right? And so one of my friends, he lived out on Horseshoe Lake, and it's kind of like this murky watered lake. Well, at that age, I had also watched the movie Lake Placid, the one with the big crocodile.
Yeah.
And so, that giant crocodile in that small lake looks very similar to my friends. We always played, King of the Raft out there, and it was, if you were to jump in the water, your feet would definitely touch the seaweed, right? And so like all that like the combination of everything, and I have just like this wild imagination, so I just constantly thought about this fucking crocodile in this lake, and so I was always worried about.
I just think about a snapping
attack.
turtle.
That
Just by
too?
taking your toe off. Like that was another.
dick.
Like I can't do like swampy areas up here barefoot because I'm
for
like,
sure.
you step on the wrong wrong rock or whatever. And
when I was younger, I seen a large snapping turtle. It had to have been about like this big around, dead on the side of the road. Like it got ran over by a car. It was out to my friend's lake, actually, out
could
at
have hugged
Horseshoe
it.
Lake.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was huge. I thought it was like a tire at first when I was younger. It was like that big and it was just on the side of the road.
yeah,
What's your
getting
irrational
bit by
fear?
one of those things would suck.
I think my irrational fear is when I'm out in the woods alone with my dog, and I run into somebody else
That's it.
that they're gonna fucking kill me.
Oh, I get that.
Don't write it off.
Yeah, don't write off.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm definitely pro 2A. Like, I own a firearm, but I'm not gonna like carry it on me when I'm out hiking. Like
Right.
that. Like, cause that will scare somebody. Like,
You don't just
For no
holster your Barrett 50 cal on your back and march around with that.
I'm just talking about my little 38, man. Like, I could wear it on my hip, but like I don't want to be that guy who's just like
Yeah.
open carrying for no reason. But at the same time, I have an irrational fear of people just like if I'm alone in the woods, them fucking with me, and then like it turns into like a goddamn horror movie.
Oh, dude,
You know, because
Like squeal like a pig, boy.
well, like just like where we're at, like it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's pretty low low population. I mean,
you know my
if somebody wanted to do that kind of shit, like this is a
can.
Happens
decent
all the
place
time.
to do it. Like,
You know my story about me taking my dogs out to the woods. And
Yeah.
like, okay, that's true. That's true, right?
you evil witch.
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna say predator, Zach. Honestly, I thought you were gonna be
Predator.
I'm literally scared that there's a predator in the trees. Just
What?
a predator.
Oh yeah. Good ass movie though. I will say that.
good movie,
Fucking
good
Carl
movie.
Weathers, dude. Hell yeah.
Come on, what are you waiting for?
Get to the shopper. Yeah, dude, I love Arnie and I love Carl Weathers. Like that's a good ass movie. It's a
Good
good fucking
movie.
movie.
All of them.
That's what I thought you were going.
All of them.
All of them.
No.
No, not all of them.
And
Not all
there's
of
some debatable ones.
Oh, for sure. I just
Not
like the
all of
idea
them.
of Predator. That's all.
Oh, it's
Predator's
sick.
such a sick idea.
Like
AVP,
Lovely
man.
Bones, that's a terrible predator movie.
What's that?
Lovely Bones, that's a terrible predator movie. Or do you mean like just the franchise Predator?
Oh, I don't get the joke. I
Yeah,
never watched
yeah.
it.
Lovely Bones.
I've seen. I know what movie
Yeah.
you're talking about. I've never seen it.
Like Predator, like a sexual
He's
predator.
a fucking child predator. Yeah.
And he murdered the girl and
Oh,
hit her
in
bones.
in that movie. In that
Yeah.
movie? Oh, I've never seen it.
And like Predator, who
It was a dark joke. He didn't
Yeah.
get, but I thought it
If
was,
you
I thought it
referenced
was funny.
if you referenced
Jesus
Along
Christ.
Came a Spider, I would have got it.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
heard that one.
See,
But
I'm
it
fucked.
sounds
I'm
like it's
fucked.
appropriately named.
That was actually Angelina Jolie and Morgan Freeman, I believe.
Oh?
Yeah, so bang! I can't believe you guys didn't
No.
know.
Did
that
they have
one.
sex in this movie?
Probably.
Is he the predator?
What's that?
Is he the predator? And she's the
I'm
child?
sure she's the predader, dude.
She's the
Everybody
predator.
wants
He's
Morgan
the
Freeman.
child? How does that work?
No, everybody wants Morgan Freeman.
Get
dude.
away from me.
Oh my god.
No
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
A lot of pedo talk today.
man, we gotta get off of that.
Yeah,
man.
please.
Let's stop.
Making
talking
my
about
stomach
pedos.
curl. It's funny, but like it's making my, my shit uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. Well, fucking hey, I was
Life's dark.
I was
But
thinking
it
about
is,
I was
but-
thinking about getting rollerblades. Let's talk about rollerblades.
Roller.
I just bought a
Let's
bike.
talk rollerblades.
I just bought a mountain bike.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I hope it's not a fat tire.
No, it's not. Do you bike, Zach?
I mean, I have a bike, yeah.
Like what type? But not like a Navid.
It's a
bike or-
mountain bike, but I put road tires on, like road tires, like are like a little bit thicker.
like more economical.
Well, just like a little bit thicker, so I can go on like, the street or fucking like sand
Trails.
or gravel if I need.
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
got
nothing
the-
crazy. Like it's not a fat tire,
Not
bike,
the
but
fat
it's
tire, but
fatter
it's like
than
a 2
it's a little bit fatter than
It's a thick
normal-
tire.
Yeah, it's a
thick
thick tire. It's not a fat tire.
A
THICC.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but they don't have like crazy grips on them. It's just more of a rounded tire, but it does have some nice tread on it for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I just bought one for the first time because I'm like,
Instead of stealing them.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, no, more or less getting rid of the ones. Never mind. I'm not gonna go. Never mind.
Yeah.
Stop it there.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to keep it light and bubbly. No, I see. This is what I'm talking about. Rollerblades. I bring it up and it immediately gets railroaded. Nobody ever wants to talk about rollerblades because everybody thinks about fruit boots and shit like that. Like I love rollerblading, but every time I bring it up to anybody, let's say more often guy friends, they're like, "Oh, you mean fruit booting?"
Well, did you do?
I would rollerblade with you.
I fucking love
Did you do like
rollerblading.
inline or just like?
Inline skates. Yeah. And like I take.
Oh,
the
I have
park shit?
I have like some glittery pink ones at the 4 wheels with the branch to the front. Like,
roller skate.
Those
roller
sound like the
skate-
ones
yeah,
I brought
okay.
to
They're
St.
different.
Vinny's
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
years ago.
Oh, I recognize the smell.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
upgraded,
roller
I
blades and
upgraded.
roller skates are different.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
roller
didn't know
skates
that.
are the ones that look like little.
See, it
quads.
sounds like you have a rollerblading buddy right here.
Yeah, you know everything.
I know.
about
I was a skateboarder,
it. Oh, see?
and so I saw a lot of inline skaters, which is the fucking.
yeah.
The really the
Rollerbladers.
ones with the
well-
small wheels with the bigger ski booty
And they
looking
have
type
they
of.
had the fucking arc in the middle
Yep,
of their
so you can
skating
grind.
Yeah.
Well,
I
fuck
did that
those
a little
because
bit.
I've been thinking about getting some off-road ones. They actually
What?
sell.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's a
yeah.
thing?
They have them. They're
Like
they,
Like a
they're
mountain board,
I was
but
gonna say
like,
mountain board equivalent.
They're
Yeah.
like they're the same kind of boot style, and the tires are a little bit larger, but they're air filled and they're kind of like rubber. They're rubber kind of like.
This sounds exactly like a mountain
tire.
board.
Mountain board.
Except it doesn't have a motor, probably.
No, it doesn't have a motor. No, it's 3 wheels per foot. I mean, some of them are like 2 wheels or something like that. But like, they're meant for going over just
Bumps
fucking-
and terrain. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like
Right.
thinking about taking those out for like
They're
getting
pretty
some, taking them out to fucking the lakeside and just like rollerblade on the side.
I feel like you could get faster on those because possible larger diameter.
Oh,
maybe.
that, yeah. And like, I mean,
And if you hit a fucking rock, you're not gonna go flying.
whatever. I
It
wouldn't
sounds
care.
fucking exhausting.
It sounds so fun, but like I'm tired of rollerblading in town because even during the summer now, even though class isn't in session, it's still fucking busy up here. I think we talked about like the tourism and stuff. So like every time I go out rollerblading out on the bike path, there's just a shit ton of people, and I don't get to cruise anymore. It's always like weaving in between people and all this other crap. And you know, I love passing people on the bike path, and they're like, "Hey, why didn't you let me know you're passing?" And they have fucking earbuds in. You know, like how do I know that
That's
you
when
can
you
hear me?
stop and you give them a hug.
Yeah,
Because they're
yeah.
clearly upset about something.
special.
in life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
like,
they're
"No,
special.
man."
They don't deserve to have their day ruined by you inconveniencing them.
Or no, you get off your
Because they
bike
had
and you
their
just
music in
bow.
their ears.
You just go on your knees and you just praise him like, "I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I will never do this again.
Yeah.
You're right.
Jesus.
Please forgive me. 40 lashings."
I'm so
40
sorry.
lashings. Get some
Please-
cat tails.
Please don't
or
be
cat
mad
9.
at me. I will kiss
cat
your
of nine
feet
tails.
right
Is that
now.
what it is? Cat of 9 tails? Yeah.
Do you want me to lick the bottom of your foot? I'll do
Yeah.
it. I'll fucking do it.
Step in shit first and then I'll lick it.
You don't even ask. You do it. Because
just
that's
fucking-
expected of you.
Yeah.
That's respect, man.
Thanks for
So he
licking
just
my
stops and
shoe.
licks the bottom of your foot. No, not your shoe, your foot.
Your foot.
You take you. but
Get
you
between the
make
toes there.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. Just
Make
just
sure
as
you do that
terrible
next
as
time.
Crowler.
All right, so
Took a
we
little
should
break
talk
here, eh?
about thing. Okay, so I thought about this. We should talk about things that kids in school used to tell us. Doesn't like any age, elementary, middle school, high school.
Oh boy.
'Cause-
Any age? Okay.
Because you guys bringing up stories earlier. Like
You just-
I want to talk about
You
this.
just opened up a can of worms.
Yeah,
for me now.
this is gonna be wild because I have some crazy shit to talk
Well,
about
who
too.
wants to go first? Harrison, how about you go first? You were just telling us about something. That's
So yeah, when I was growing up, I was 3rd grade. I had a friend. His name was Fred. He was convinced that for his birthday present, he was getting a trank gun, like an elephant trank gun. Like
Wait, like full size or like one of the like pistol ones
like
you see in
the
movies?
pistol one. Like so, it's like you can like kind of conceal it a little.
still
the
funny
super,
the second
the
time
super,
here again.
the super fake trank gun from
What
movies.
as me being like, oh, that's fucking sweet. I was 8 or 9, or in 3rd grade, and I was like 10 or I can't remember. But either way, it's like I was very also believed like, well, when's your birthday? I am kind of
Oh,
hyped.
it's not till
like,
next year, bud.
No, it was
After
coming
4
up,
years.
it's coming up.
but it was
What
just,
was the birthday taking place at the zoo?
I mean,
Here you go, Billy.
Why did you go to the monkey cage?
his name is Fred.
Oh, sorry, Fred. If you're listening, I doubt it.
But so that's where for me I was like, nah, I don't think so. But then I had another friend who he was like, my mom leaves lighters all around her house, and I can get us some lighters. I was a pyro growing up. I loved fire, and so this was
I love the idea. Sorry, I love the idea of this little kid going around with like a trench coat, just like open up, and he's just got like lines.
You want a
of,
Bic?
of
You want a
Bic lighters.
Zippo?
Yeah.
I got everything.
Yeah. What do you need? Yeah,
I got
go
black,
ahead.
I got blue, I got red.
Oh my god.
But that led to me actually getting suspended in 3rd grade because me and him got a hand.
Don't say handgun.
We got a handful.
We got a handgun.
handful of lighters.
We got a handful of lighters, and we were just playing around in the after school like daycare bathroom,
Yeah.
just lighting balls of paper towels up and throwing them across.
Well, I
Shit,
understand why you got
nice.
in trouble for that, you fucking maniac.
Well, and the thing- no, we didn't get caught right away. We left and everything, and like, but yeah, clearly we didn't think like, oh, it's gonna fucking smell like burnt
Let's play
fucking
fireman.
paper
Yeah.
in that place, and like didn't even think about it. And then the next day, like, kind of get taken into the office. We still had lighters. We were still playing with fire in the bathroom constantly. And apparently one of the kids ratted on us that we knew. That was like, you know, they got lighters. Fucking, they got a 3-day suspension and had to go to like a fire safety thing. Like, you know, that's not okay, right? I mean,
We were just playing fireman.
come on.
Hanging out, it's okay.
Oh,
there's water, there's urinals and stuff. Like, we were throwing the balls of fire into the urinal. So it's like, oh yeah, clearly the black fucking charred paper, like toilet paper in the urinal isn't suspicious at all, right? Well, there's no fire, so they can't prove we did it.
Dude, the quick segue that totally reminds me when I was younger, our parents like had us do fire drills in our house, right? Like there's
In the house?
in our house, like there's 4 of us, right? And, like,
Okay.
They just want to make sure each of us would get out just in case there's a fire, right? Like because sometimes we'd be living on the second, or our bedroom would be on the 2nd floor, so my older brother had like a fire ladder out his window sort of thing, right? Well, when we were really young, my older brother Julian, he had this in his mind where, well, if we're going to do a fire drill, we need a fire. So he set our fucking curtains on fire in our living room. And then he jumped out the window. He jumped out the window into the fucking snowbank.
God.
Like he fucking jumped through the window. Like
Through the window. He didn't even
I
open it.
believe
Broke
that's
it?
what it was. Yeah. Like I don't know if it was like I don't know. Like that's how I heard
As
it.
real as real gets. I'm going to set a fire, and then I'm going to jump out of the window.
When keeping it real
My little
goes
brother, My
right.
younger brother was fucking nuts when we were younger, though. Like, so, like, he definitely set the fire, but like, I was told that he fucking like jumped out the window too. So, like, that's what I was told. But he did set
You
a
weren't
fire
there.
before a fire. No, I was just like super young and shit.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if you were on one of your luge trips, because you
No.
always talk about it.
I know I do.
No,
I
I'm
bring it
just
up.
giving you
It took up
shit.
so much time in my life.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. I mean, you went over the fucking world to do it.
Yeah. But yeah. So. Nah, you got in trouble with lighters though.
So what?
I was
what
playing
did,
with
what
fire
did kids
too
tell
when I was
you
younger.
in school?
Oh, I had this one kid. His name was Mitchell. He was saying some stupid shit. Like I don't know. He was telling me that when you go over railroads, you had to pick up your feet because the devil can grab you. And so every time we went over railroads,
Just
he would
railroads?
pick up, yeah, just railroads.
No other bridges, no other suspended thing, just railroads.
No power here except for the railways.
Yeah. Could you imagine that motherfucker playing Monopoly? He would hold down those railroad spots.
I don't want the $200. I don't want the $200.
No.
Oh my god! No, but yeah, that's something he was telling me. And then like the same kid, he told me that his dad or whatever had gotten them like Connects. You know, we were talking about this, but the Connects, the little plastic connecty fucking toy stuff. That like the little green connector pieces that they had, he had described to me that they were as big as a car, and you need like heavy equipment machinery to move them into one another, and that like they were gonna build a rocket and fly or some shit like that. Like it got pretty preposterous, and I can't believe I just used that word and fucking like
Normal conversation.
just did it properly. Yeah, but like
I used the word correct.
Yeah,
Where's the
My
balloon
English teacher
falling?
would be so proud.
yeah.
I
But
forgot to ring
yeah.
up the balloons. I'm sorry, buddy.
And then there's like a dead clown that just like drops on the ceiling. Like we've been
He's
waiting
been up there
forever.
for a while. We were waiting.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, like this kid was telling me some stupid shit like that. That's some of the stupid things. Some of the stupid things I heard also were from my older brother. You guys remember the days of AOL Instant Messenger and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that, right?
AIM. I love that shit.
Yeah, it was so easy.
I met so many friends.
Yeah.
A lot of them older men. It was really weird. They kept trying to buy me stuff. And
They were
find me
good
places.
fatherly figures. I just had to send them topless or just pictures of me in my boxers.
No big
Joking.
deal. No big deal. Jesus Christ.
yeah. Back
But no, AOL Instant
back in
Messenger.
those days, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would come home from
No,
middle school and
well-
hop right on that shit. Like,
Well,
right away.
it was so easy to make a profile, right?
Yeah.
Well, my brother had made a couple profiles. Yeah, dude. I remember one of them. I fucking remember this because it scared me. Because this is when I was going into a high school from middle school, and I'm going to high school with my older brother, and he's AOL instant messaging me. He's telling me his name is Deshaun. God damn it, his name is Deshaun. And he was a 6-foot shoddy.
Wait, that's how he described him.
That's how he described him. He scared the shit out of me because we were listening to a lot of 50 Cent back in the day.
So you thought you knew what
Oh,
that
fuck,
was
man. What did I
like?
do wrong?
Yeah. I was like, I didn't do
You
anything.
thought you understood.
I was like, why are you so upset with me? I don't even know you yet.
What's wrong,
He just wanted to beat the shit out of me, he said.
Your brother was just
I just don't like you, man.
somebody else and threatening to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I told him my older brother goes to high school and he would protect me. I can imagine my brother on the other end of that fucking losing his shit.
Oh my god. He was probably
Or immediately he like realizes it backfires.
Oh my
Like,
God.
oh fuck! I hope he really
Oh
never
my
gets in a
God.
fight.
Right? He was such
That
an
is
asshole
great.
to me when
That's
I was
fucking
younger.
great.
Yeah. Looking back on it, was pretty
My
fucking
eyes
funny.
Ice water.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dude, after I found out, when did you find out that he did that?
I don't know. Maybe when I was like fucking college, like
Oh,
well into my
because if it was in high
Yeah.
school still, I would
laughed my ass
totally.
off,
crying
too.
too, man.
Yeah.
Oh my
I totally would have, if I were you, just like picked fights for him after finding out. Be like, hey, that guy over there, totally called you a
Dude,
pussy.
my school isn't something you go to pick fights because I come from a place where like the total school population was like 394 or something like that.
It's like, oh, I know I didn't say that, eh?
Yeah, just a bunch of country boys and stuff like that. There's
It's
nobody.
like, oh no, I
picking
was making
fights.
maple syrup with him on Saturday. He's a nice
Yeah.
fella.
He didn't say anything. Yeah, but yeah, fucking A. That's some shit I was told when I was younger.
What about you, Zach?
Oh man.
Did that rattle anything?
I
in
got
your
it. Well,
cage? You said you had a bunch of shit, hey?
I got a couple of doozies. I remember specifically in high school, this guy, he shared a few classes with good friends of mine, like the auto tech classes, you know, where you can get like a certificate to be like an auto tech because, you know, back when they actually offered trade classes.
I
in
know
high school.
engines.
We had auto shop. I
Actually,
remember those days.
I don't think they do
yeah.
that anymore.
No,
but
Like
I
small
think so.
engines class and stuff. They don't have that.
No.
I think they took it away. Yeah.
Yeah, they took that.
But they
stuff.
used to
That is
have
the
it.
stupidest shit ever.
Dude.
You don't got to tell me, man.
Yeah.
I know.
Everybody agrees with you on that.
Oh, general things you should know. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
Nah, we're gonna. Anyways,
Yeah.
so they shared an auto tech class with this kid, and you know this kid is like 16 years old. It seems like he's never taken a shower because he definitely smells like it. Like, no offense, I understand that's like a really like tough time, like high school and like even like just like at the beginning of puberty, like you're still figuring shit out. Like,
Why
you
do I
smell
smell like
terrible.
this?
You smell terrible, but like this dude never showered, and he had like the longest, greasiest hair. He just didn't do shit about his hygiene, so you know he was our age, so he had to be like 16. maybe 17 if he was held back, which I would fucking believe.
Yeah.
But
the way he smelled, he must be dumb
my
too.
God, but he would say things to them like, "Oh yeah, I have a Shelby Ford Cobra, a Ford Shelby Cobra at home, and I don't have my license right now.
How many miles are on
I
it?
don't have my license right now, but like once I get it back, like I'm gonna be just driving to school every day." And then so it started at that kind of shit,
Yeah.
and then it got so ridiculous that this dude was claiming, "Oh, I used to actually drift cars professionally in Japan."
I just watched Tokyo Drift.
And how
this is what I did.
16?
He's
Oh
like,
my
I
god.
used to. I don't have my license right now though, but I used to be like a pro in Japan at drifting.
I picture this guy just
Like,
watching a
what?
movie and telling stories based off of that.
He's like,
And
all right, I'll
incorporating him
fabricate
into
it.
it.
He's that knockoff Paul Walker.
Yeah. I was entangled.
It's like, yeah, no, I had hair that was about
Oh,
maybe
oh my
50
God.
yards long. They could manipulate it, and I can manipulate it. It's no big deal. I got rid of it. I didn't want to deal with it.
But that's ridiculous. He was
Yeah.
claiming crazy shit like that, hey?
Yes.
Yes.
With all of his heart. He was
Oh my
saying,
God.
"I used to drift cars in Japan."
That's fucking
And
incredible.
he's 16, and he couldn't have been more than like 15 at the time of doing that because everybody knew him for a whole fucking year before that. I mean,
Was his hair swooshed back or anything?
no, it was
like-
just long and greasy and unkept because he didn't shower.
That's totally on Tokyo Drift style.
The Japanese would have spit on him like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dude, you don't drift. That's what I mean, it probably wouldn't sound like that, but yeah. No, that's some stupid shit. I remember. Oh, you got another one. No, go
it's
for
not
it.
from high school, but this one kid that me and all the kids in the neighborhood, like, we had a whole posse, and one of these kids, he would always make up just bullshit about like things he had, but it was never at his house because he lived with one of his parents.
Yeah.
He'd always be like, "Oh, it's at my aunt's house."
It's always at the other person's house. Huh?
Oh, dude, I have the prototype for the new Xbox 360.
What?
Yeah,
You
my
do?
aunt's
Well,
house.
wait, what? What? Yeah, but it's at my aunt's house, so I don't know when I'll be able to bring it over.
Well,
It's
let's
like,
go to your aunt's house then.
No, she's not around here.
No, she lives far away, and I don't go there a
So,
whole lot.
Why don't? When do
And
you
I'll
ever
be
get to
like,
play
dude,
the
like
prototype?
I got a mini bike, man. It's gas powered. It goes like 45 miles an hour. We're like 14, 13, 14.
Yeah,
We're like, no,
fuck
you
yeah.
don't. We're like, no, you don't. He's like, yeah, I do.
That's-
Okay, where is it? Show us. It's at my aunt's house.
That's so unbelievable.
The way he
because
kept it up for years, though, just
it's hilarious.
absolutely blows my mind. How can you keep something
See,
like that
but
up
what
for so long?
did you ever get disproved in that? What if he
I've met his aunt before.
Okay.
Did you?
Like,
Ask,
what if you never met his aunt and like his aunt's like, yeah, no, here's the
It-
prototype for the
okay,
Xbox.
So the aunt was over, and I briefly was able to be like, "Oh, hi," but it seemed like no. I really doubt he has all that shit just at her place.
just like a pack rat's house, just like
Well,
just.
all of the shit he's talking about.
I know.
It's like it's at her place, and she comes to visit you, and she doesn't bring any. Not even.
It's like
one
she
of
doesn't
those
have
things over?
kids, and she
She
just
doesn't
has
bring
this stuff
one of
for
those
you.
things over when
Why
they're yours.
is all of your shit at your aunt's place?
Because it's not real.
Right, exactly.
Because it does not exist.
Oh.
But
I remember back in the day, this isn't like something somebody told me. This is just like I believe those Jolt energy drinks, or do you guys remember like the Jolt?
Oh, I remember
soda
Jolts.
drinks?
Oh yeah,
They
Jolt
had
was
like
delicious.
they-
Actually,
oh, I love it.
they weren't bad. They weren't bad. They
I
were
really liked the blue one.
yeah, that's the one
Blue raspberry.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
shit.
my
That
shit.
was so good.
I-
Jolt Cola was good as fuck too.
I stuck to the blue raspberry, honestly. I just like that one so much. But I remember buying two of those before I went into middle school, and like I had ADHD and shit like that, so I was like hardwired, like fucking with energy, and then I put two of those down, and I was just like, my heart was just like fucking just thumping so much, and I remember telling my mom about that at some point. She's like, "You could have had a heart attack or something." I was like,
Oh, we're talking about
shit.
stupid shit like
I
that.
remember like Monster, like they had a thing on the can, and it was like, you shouldn't consume more than 2 within a 12-hour period or something. And me and my friends were drinking like the ones this size.
Oh my god.
I'm holding a Crowler, which is 32 ounces, but I'm pretty sure the Monsters were a
the big
like
fucking cans.
36 or 38 ounce.
What?
Can.
They're that big?
Yeah, it was
BFCs?
called. Yeah.
The BFCs, yeah.
The big.
I
fucking
never even
can.
heard of that.
I remember those.
No shit.
It was basically a monster this size.
Have you
That
ever
sounds
like
so
the
gross.
what is it? Oster's, the Australian beer.
Foster's.
Foster's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
that
it's
can.
like that can.
That's like but that's only like a 20-ounce can.
But it's
it's
taller
that,
than that.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
tall.
that,
It's like
yeah.
that thickness, but taller.
Well, yeah, it's
like that.
this,
Right,
basically.
right. That's fucking
This with
crazy.
filled
That's
with
such a
Monster.
big can.
Yeah.
But talking about,
Gross.
That's a
Me and my
lot
friends
of
would drink
Monster.
those
I
in, like,
was.
an hour.
It's like 400 grams of sugar.
Probably.
It's
I
the
don't know.
caffeine that gets you. That's what will fuck you. Like, and that's my buddy. Like in 6th grade, I had a birthday party, and he's like, I spent all my money on like 48 energy drinks. Like, and
Oh,
he just
really?
had a bottom drawer full of like
Oh my
No
God.
Fears, Monster, Sobe energy drinks, and we stayed up all night like watching like Hostel, like 300.
Oh my god.
all
I think
that
Nas is my favorite of those older
Yeah.
energy
Oh,
drinks.
dude,
I
it's
really
like
like
pretty
Nas.
good.
Full
Yeah.
Throttle too. That's a
Full
good one.
Throttle was
I like
alright.
Full
Touche.
I like it more than like Rockstar.
The citrusy
I can't
one.
even drink Monster
But
anymore.
we had like 7 or
hate when
8
drink
a
Monster anymore.
piece, and we were like, "This
You were
is not
fucked.
good." like, and I know again. Yeah, I told my mom. She's like, "You could have gone into fucking cardiac arrest."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, are you? But going into that, I don't know if I've told you about this, but when I don't know, I definitely haven't told you about this. In 7th grade, I burnt my hand really bad on like my little doodle bike mini bug.
Oh no, I don't know.
At least that's what I told my mom.
Doodle Bop?
Like, me and my friend were drinking on New Year's Eve.
Wait,
How old were you?
How old? Yeah.
13. I was a shit kid.
No, I was just
It
wondering.
was 7th or 8th grade, so I was 13 or 14.
I smoked weed at 13. I wasn't a drinker.
So yeah,
but,
I was
like,
I was
it's
smoking
fine.
weed too at like
Yeah.
my because
I was-
I was the kid who was like, I'm never gonna smoke weed. It's gonna ruin my life.
Hey, me too. I was a bad kid, but I wasn't a bad kid, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I did things I shouldn't have been doing, but I wasn't like getting in trouble. You know?
So in 7th grade, I burnt my hand really bad on this fire poker. And I went to school the next day complaining about it to my someone in my PE class. His name was Tomas.
Somebody in your PE class?
PE class,
Yeah.
physical education class.
PE class.
But in like you were talking about like I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, so like you're talking about like Chicago being a rough place. Like this dude is
Yeah,
clearly involved with gangs. And he's like, oh no, I got some. Like I can give you something, and he gave me 6 pills, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they are. Well, I'll take them. Took one right then, maybe one 2 or 3 hours later, and then took the other ones periodically throughout the
Jeez.
day.
Not even.
Not fucking realizing I got brought into class or brought into the office the next day. We had liaison officers, like truancy officers, and I was fucking.
Oh, for sure. My
they're-
high school
like,
did too.
Like we had fights daily.
What's an
shit.
NC officer?
Truancy? It's basically it's an actual cop.
It's essentially a cop that's assigned to
Just watches
protect
shit.
and
Yeah,
watch
like-
the high school.
No
because
shit.
there's
They hang
shit
out and they
that's
just kinda-
going on
yeah.
outside of
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Thi-
anyways
things go bad.
yeah. Okay.
They-
That's fucking crazy.
They need a police
Like,
officer
if-
for like whatever.
because
it's
if
like,
there's an assault, they can be like, yeah, no, there was an assault,
That's fucking crazy.
basically,
Okay.
or shit like that. But anyways,
it's just an on-site police officer.
Right.
they brought me into the office. They had a truancy officer there, an actual officer, and then like 7 other kids in this like little room, like this room. And I was like, oh fuck, like, and apparently this kid's older brother, who's heavily involved with gangs, broke into somebody's house, stole their painkillers, and he gave me some OxyContin.
Oh
my shit.
god.
Yeah, and like they called my mom and my mom was just like, you know, you could have fucking died.
That's
Like
crazy.
No, I did not know that.
I was
That's
like,
why I
no!
was just taking him willy nilly.
It's
I
like,
had no
but
fucking
I,
clue.
no, the thing is, like, I had a severe burn on my hand. I was like, I just want the pain to fucking stop.
Oh right, I forgot about
Like,
the
and so
burn.
that's where I was like, I don't give a shit. Like what it is, if it'll make the pain go away, give it to me, my 13-year-old, 14-year-old.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know any better. Give me whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're a doctor, right? All right, just give it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got something for
You're
your
a
pain.
And so, but yeah, like I was like, oh wow, like,
Jeez,
like,
man.
I also got in trouble like in the 5th grade because I told the school nurse like, oh yeah, no, I took some Dayquil and then I also took some pills that were like also like sinus relief shit, and she's like, you can't mix medications. Like you cannot do
Oh,
that.
like just like Sudafed or whatever.
No, but
Or
it wasn't. It was
Benadryl.
Dayquil tat. Like I was like, oh, I took
Oh.
Dayquil liquid and then I took the Dayquil pills because I thought it was like. And she called my mom like, yeah, so this happened and again. So
That's a big deal though.
really apparently
know.
when you're
Taking a little bit more than you're supposed to Dayquil, that's bad.
when you're
I didn't know
young, I guess it's more or less like the worry of, you're not supposed to
Yeah.
do this because
They don't want
if,
you to
like,
get in the
again,
habit of taking more than you need to have something else.
Yeah, they don't
Cut-
want you tripping on cough medicine. I
cut
get-
so
I
many
get
years
that.
later.
On some scissors.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
Well, cut so many years later when I'm in the office, like not even unintentionally getting fucking high off of OxyContin in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
So
Damn. That's some crazy shit, dude.
You know that we were talking about things, and you were kind of reminding me of something earlier. But I went to a
Whoops.
I went to a Christian camp, or I think like a religious camp of some, like Catholic camp of some sort, like a summer camp. And I didn't know it was a summer camp. It was my good friend Jake's, his mom's idea. She's like, yeah, let's sign you guys up to go to this Lake Ellen was the name of it. Lake Ellen.
She didn't tell you it was like a whole summer,
She did. It was only like 2 weeks or something like that.
but she didn't tell you it was 2 weeks long.
No, she didn't tell me how long it was, and she didn't tell
that is fucked.
that.
That is completely fucked.
yeah, you're going to camp. All right, cool.
Hey, we'll go to,
I thought-
Lake Ellen. Hey, that sounds nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
they-
just kidding. It's 2 weeks.
They showed me pictures of like all the activities and stuff like that, right? But they didn't tell me it was like a religious based camp or anything. And I didn't come from a religious
They
family.
hooked you in.
Yeah,
Got you.
dude. I was like, yeah, I want to jump on the blob. That sounds awesome.
Oh, dude. Those things are fucking great.
They are,
Those
dude. They
things
were
are
so cool, and we got to play like a large, like 100 versus 100 capture the flag, or maybe it was like 50 versus 50 capture the flag in their like huge yard and whatnot. But like, I went to this camp, and I went with my friend Jake, and like he was obviously her kid, so like he was religious, but he didn't even know it was a religious camp. He didn't know it was religious.
Wait.
Neither of us knew it was a religious
The
summer
kid
camp.
whose
Did the
mother
mom?
suggested it?
Yeah.
Didn't even know that it was.
I don't.
religious
You know what?
camp.
That's a good question. I don't know if she knew.
Did she? Oh, so she might not have. Even
That's a
known.
good question. I thought maybe she roped us into
Because
this.
it sounded like.
Like she's
Him
trying to like,
and the
hey, we
mom
got to
knew.
save these broken children.
Well, it sounded like him and the mom knew, and they were like, "Your friend Vinny, like we should bring him too, just in case." You know, I mean.
Well, no, actually,
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's like that's what. I
or they
was
saw the
taking it.
blob on the info thing. Like, oh, this would be fun, wouldn't it?
I didn't even consider that the mom got swindled too.
Yeah, maybe she did. She got swindled too. Yeah, maybe. So all of us got swindled, maybe. But like,
And then there's
who
like,
knows?
yeah, money.
right? Like I everybody else brought their Bibles. Like I didn't even know the thing.
Wait, why does everybody
And
have
so-
Bibles? Why is
Yeah.
that so fucking
Dude,
left
that's
out right
that's
now?
that's
Like
what
you're looking around like, what?
That's when
the
it first
fuck?
struck me. Was the first morning, right? The first morning we woke up and we ate breakfast, right? I was like, oh, cool, I'm starving, right? Eggs, bacon, sausage, right? All that stuff. I was like, yum, I'm hungry. I started eating. I noticed everybody else had a Bible. Jake didn't have his Bible either, by the way.
Everybody was praying before they were eating. You were like, wait.
Yeah, I probably. I don't know. I don't remember that, but like they ended up having us read passages out of the Bible, like flip
While
to
you ate?
Yeah, during
That
breakfast.
is
Like
just
one
not-
person read while everybody.
Unsettling.
While everybody
I would
else
say
was eating.
cold. It's just really unsettling that you would do that while everyone's trying to fucking eat. That
Right.
doesn't make sense.
Like
to
as
me.
you're chewing,
Yeah, while
or like
everybody
in
else was
between bites.
everybody else was eating, and like somebody went up to the front and like read out stuff or something like that, or they like read out from their seat.
Like
but
gospel.
I was asked. I was asked to read out something. Like I didn't raise my fucking hand or anything. Like I didn't want to even do any partake in any of this. But they gave me like a little. They gave me the kid next to me his book. The kid next to me gave me his book to read from, and so I read it out. I was like, and while I was reading passages from the Bible, I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? But like,
it dawned on you, like, wait, this.
yeah,
none
dude,
of
it
this
was.
is really
They woke
connecting.
us up at like 3 a.m. in the morning one time to walk in pitch black to the central camp area to go look at the stars and talk about the constellations. Like
Okay,
we-
that's okay.
we
so
all
far.
we all were walking around in the pitch black, and we were holding hands with one another, like walking through
Like,
the woods, and it was
Jesus,
just like
guys.
3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, and then like
serial killer's dream.
Oh, I remember where I was going with all this. Okay, so we did have like a recess or rec time, right? And so there at the central area was all the rec stuff. They had tabletop games and stuff like that. Excuse me. There's this one kid, I don't remember his name, but he was totally convinced that he could get drunk on Surge. You know that Surge soft
I remember
drink?
Surge, yeah.
Well, Surge made a comeback too recently.
Yeah, they started remaking it.
They're making it now, and so like I thought that was really cool to see because
I think Coke owns it.
oh, okay, my first recollection of that soft drink was back when that kid at the camp was just like, yeah, you can get drunk on Surge, and so he just like fucking down Surge just like left and right, like he was drinking so much Surge while we were there, and he was just
sugar and caffeine, buddy.
yeah,
Drunk.
and he was just like telling, like he was totally convinced you could get drunk on Surge, so he was just like acting stupid and whatever. It was
A kid acting stupid? I've never heard of that.
yeah.
Never.
I remember crying at that camp. Like me and my friend both were crying. We were like, I want to go home. We were both homesick. We couldn't stand being around all these people and like
you have your Bible.
well, okay, here's the other like lame thing too. Like we got to go. Okay, so this is cool. We got to go to a little firing range and shoot off little 22 rifles.
Oh, that's
I
pretty.
love
That's
22.
fucking cool.
22 is great.
That's fun.
Man.
That's
it's
a good.
it's like a nice little beep. It's basically a BB gun.
Everybody
Like,
else.
A 22 has nothing, dude. Like it's
you
like a
can
BB gun.
in the sense of what it can do to somebody, though.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying shooting it.
Well, everybody else
It's
got
like
to
a
like.
BB gun. That's
yeah.
all. No, I get what you're saying.
Like,
Clearly, it's a fucking gun, but I'm saying it's like
Everybody
shooting
got
it.
like 10 shots
It's
with
great.
it.
Yeah,
I got a
I went
cart.
22.
I got like a cartridge or something like that with 3. So I got to shoot it 3 times. Everybody else got to. I looked around while everybody else still had smiles on their faces, still
They
pulling the
looked at you,
trigger.
They were like, Gentile, you only get
Yeah, dude, I was so bummed. I was so bummed.
And they're like,
Nah, you're good.
You forgot your
Nah,
Bible.
you're fine.
We didn't have enough for you or something. I don't know, but I enjoyed myself at the same time. I really hated being there, and I guess by the time I left that camp, I was somewhat okay with it. We played some really cool games, and I totally can like try to block out the whole religious aspect of everything because they compared everything to God. They compared a paintball gun to God.
Wait. An actual.
Maybe not to
just a
God
paintball
himself,
gun.
but they related a paintball gun to the
Just a
teachings of
straight up
God.
paintball gun.
Yes, a straight up paintball gun. They related that to religion in some way. Like the bolt in the gun was your faith or something. You know, like in those terms, like some weird stuff, right?
So.
Lake Ellen.
Really
maybe there's an investigation going in on them. Right now.
yeah, it's
I wasn't
like how
touched
many
or anything, so
of
that's
the-
good.
I'm not gonna
I'm
go
just-
into dark, but it's like, man, that's really weird. Like, don't do that if you're a religious sanction. Like, oh yeah, no, this gun, it's like God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that, I mean, if you guys want to go this route, we can totally not. I can cut it out too if you don't want.
Oh, go what route?
But I'm just like wondering, like, what's your guys' like idea of God? And I'm not saying in any kind of like religious sense, just kind of like what, like, if you believe in God, whatever that it means to you, like, what is it, and like, and if not, like, why, and if so, why? You know, I'm just kind of curious, like,
I feel
because it seems everybody has different views on what God is. Or like, you know, it depends on obviously your like religion, but it can also
So,
be like people who
okay.
aren't necessarily religious.
First
like,
of-
what you think about it.
First of all, a lot of people like to look towards a God, right? Like they would like not a lot of people. Oh yeah, a lot of people have a God. Some people are atheists, right? But like in one sense of the way I see life is before you treat anything as your God, treat yourself as God first, sort of thing.
Okay.
So like before you go ahead and start just worshiping something as being godlike, like, you know, take care of yourself first. Treat yourself as your own God before you go ahead treating somebody else as your God or your second God, you know, or you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
Don't go ahead. I
The
guess.
thing is though, it's like God isn't like a person.
Oh, I know, and I get
That's all
that.
I'm saying. Like,
I get
well,
that.
I was
I've
just
read a-
kind of like asking, but I was asking you what you meant by.
And so
like, what
I
you think God kind of could be or represents.
right.
Like, that's what I want.
I understand what you're saying. I've read a book.
Sorry.
I've read books before, or they're talking about like religion and belief in something isn't just a person up in the sky or whatever. It can be whatever they hold their soul close to. Like mine could essentially be laughter. My religion could be laughter. Honestly, I fucking love laughter. I just want to make people laugh. My religion is fucking laughter. Like it's essentially religion and the belief in something. What God is whatever you hold your heart closest to or your soul closest to is what the article was talking about, and that's how they put it. And I really that kind of really put things into place for me in a way. But
okay, so like to explore
for me, like my whole thing, my ideal like version of what I feel like God in quotations would be.
So
I'm not necessarily
to start
religious.
off though, you believe in something that could be considered God, or no? Like,
not
or
necessarily.
You don't know.
Not,
that's why.
like,
Yeah, I
this
just
is-
wanted to like get that kind of like point out of the way first.
Okay.
and talk
So
about
for
it.
me,
you know what
it's
I mean?
more or less, I feel the connection that humans have between other humans is the biggest thing that we have to rely on. And the more disconnected we are with others in the sense of the larger scale, like that, like, so being connected with one another, understanding people's differences, like that is God. Understand humility is my sense of what a God is, like being receptive to other people's trials and tribulations without judging them based on your own lifestyle or how you've lived. So it's holding no judgment.
A righteous
others,
person.
no matter what. It's like, even if you feel their life has been easier, it's the fact you're able to check it. So it's having the checks and balances of knowing that even if you feel anger or you feel hateful thoughts, it's knowing that you feel those hateful thoughts and that it's not okay in a sense.
Right.
But so it's like having.
So I'm just asking. So are you setting that based on like a moral principle, or is it that? Because I think the like, what I was trying to get at mainly was the kind of, I guess principle of what God is to you. So you're saying you think
General
it's
human
more
connectivity,
of like a moral kind of thing,
Yes.
within humans.
Like,
so it's like a
yes.
moral principle within humans that you feel God
like
is.
moral principles need to be prevalent in
Okay.
humans. For,
No.
Like
I'm
God.
sorry. I just wanted to really clarify what you meant. Yeah.
And over here, like I didn't misunderstand your question. I was just starting off. Like
Yeah.
the way I see things is like I treat myself as my own God before I treat anything else as a God. But no, I don't believe in a God.
And you brought up laughter as kind of your like encompassing thesis of God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You were comparing laughter and the feeling of laughter to what you could
Right,
see
so,
God
like-
as. So I was just like, I was really curious about what you meant about that too. Because I just was asking this question.
I
'cause
gave a
was-
very skewed answer.
but I understand what you're saying. It's recognizing humility is a aspect of kind of God. Like you were saying,
Like everybody can have bad days.
Yeah,
everyone,
yeah.
Like everyone
But-
has
but-
shit happen. It's like it's perspective too. I guess. Like,
to me, it just sounded like that's an aspect of what you think God
Well,
would
I
be.
think of
to
like
you. And same with laughter.
omnipotence. Like think of omnipotence. Like you try to think of like, well, how can everything else be at this exact given time?
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess like that's how it's like, if you're omnipotent, you can change into how it can want to be. So it's like everyone's living something different at every given time. So give a little bit of give and take for that person that's living something that you may never live because you don't know what it's like. And so respect that instead of being like, oh, what is fucking this guy? It's like, and so it's those little things and being like, instead of looking down on them, take it into like, oh, maybe I'm never going to have to deal with that. Like, say it's like in sense of even with like realizing that thankful for that you can just walk instead of being disabled because you served for a country and you got disabled because of an IED.
That's
Like,
That's a
like,
whole other conversation.
It is,
but I get it.
It's completely like in the sense
for
of just
sure.
having that like respecting that what you have is a gift no matter what, instead of being like, oh, woe is me, like, because that causes toxicity in the sense of general humanity. And like I feel God is in every human, if that's what we're talking about. Everyone has God. So that's kind of my big
So you would basically
spiel.
So just from what I gathered, you would base it most on humility, and you would base it more on like laughter.
No,
and
not
joy.
at all.
Or, no. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, I was
I
just
think you
telling
got
you
caught
what
off
I
track.
read in a book, and it was
okay.
interesting. It was a different perspective on what somebody thinks religion is to somebody. Like,
Sure.
like you, because you said because God isn't just a person. Like God can be anything.
Yeah, not as
And-
any specific figure, just
Right, and so that's where
what you think.
what popped in my head was like I read an article where I used to believe that like I wasn't religious. I used to think that I'm not religious, right? But this article put into a different perspective that religion can be anything to anybody. It's whatever they hold close to themselves, sort of thing. And so, whereas
Connection of I think you said the soul and
the
like
soul and the heart, sort of thing, right?
Okay.
So like, so excuse me, but like. Yeah, I mean, people believe in God, right? And so that's what they choose to believe in, right? That's their religion. But somebody like me, in my sense, I don't hold a higher being close. Like I'm not trying to live for a higher being. I'm not trying to get into heaven. I'm living for myself. But like, what I hold close is laughter and happiness, because I don't know. I don't know why I am the way I am. I'm always just. I said to somebody the other day at work. They asked me, "How are you doing today?" And I said, "Overflowing with positivity." And they fucking gave me the double high
that's
five.
good, though.
Like I don't know. I can't stop being just fucking positive. But like
it's helpful, man. It helps
I love,
me a lot.
yeah. So like I don't know. I love
trying to be that
positivity.
way.
I right. Like it's hard. Like I used to be like really fucking like I still get really pissed off and I get enraged about a lot of things. Even just the other week, my phone is damaged. So every time I make a phone call, I can't turn the screen on, and so I can't end a phone call. And here I am. I'm trying to just order food, and I've tried I call one place, they're closed. I call another place, they're closed. Well, then I'm
voicemails.
yeah, and like I'm just trying to fucking end the phone call, and so I'm just like getting just so pissed off, and like I hate feeling like that. I really truly hate feeling pissed off. I don't like feeling like that anymore, and I used to feel like that a lot. And so, and these days I just want to try and just be, say, neutral. I don't want to instigate anything. Like I'm not like. I don't want to be angry anymore. I'd rather just be like when I've been told before that like I'm the most patient person somebody's ever met, and I'm just like, well, I just don't want to get angry anymore, sort of thing. And so like, I guess what I hold close is just happiness, and just I love trying to bring laughter to people's lives. I try to be helpful as I can. I fucking hate being so open to humanity. Like I give everybody a fucking chance, even though when I look at them, I'm like, I judge a book by its cover, and I shouldn't. But I still love being inclusive.
It's an evolutionary thing, though. You shouldn't feel bad about it. It really.
I just feel like I'm an outlier. Like not a whole lot of people see things like that.
I'm just saying, judging a book by its cover is a very evolutionary.
Oh, right.
Evolutionarily based thing.
Right.
If we didn't judge things by how they looked, we would have died out a long fucking
right.
time
That's
ago,
so true. That's so true. So
to
boil things down, like I don't
sure.
believe in a God, but if you're gonna. I don't believe in a God, but if you're gonna bring a religion into it, I think that's a different topic. And so my religion would be laughter. And
I was just saying separate of religion. If you kind
God,
of
I don't
the
idea of a
concept
God
of a kind of God or like whatever. Yeah, I mean it wasn't meant to be anything too specific. I was just like asking both of you if you hold those kinds of things. That like it doesn't have to be in a religious aspect, but so you and Harrison both have different kind of interpretations of what you would consider, God or godlike existence. I mean, not necessarily saying that God's like real or not.
What are you trying to get at when you're asking me about God? What was your original question? You're like
the original question was just because we were kind of talking about things related to that. So I was just wondering, like, what's like your guys' opinion on
God? Oh, that's right, because I brought religion into it, the camp and everything.
Without religion, do you believe? Do you not believe? Or like, are you in the middle or whatever? Because I'm just curious.
I guess I don't really believe because. In a sense, there's so many religions out there, and they all say that they're right, and it's just like, okay, well, then you got to start.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying separate of religion, also, just kind of the
God,
kind of universal.
Where did we come from, sort of thing?
Not even
not that.
Yes, but
in a way,
just the
because
the phenomenon that is
I totally
God,
believe
because
the phenomenon that is God.
It's existed for as long as we know. So basically, just the phenomena that is kind of what people have interpreted as God, not necessarily.
In what sense do you mean
specific.
by that? Like, give me an example.
Just so like the initial mover, that kind of thing.
He built the world, the universe in 7 days, or that whole thing.
So people can say, "Oh, God created the universe and Earth and everything," or people can say, "Oh, I believe in the Big Bang,"
right?
Which is fine, but believing in both those things isn't contradictory. You can, believe, "Oh, the Big Bang was God doing his thing," whatever your essence of God is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever your archetype in your brain of what God or a God
See,
is.
I just don't have that archetype in my brain. I can't even picture it. It's hard.
I was just curious because
within my imagination, I can't even do that.
Well, the amount of, we have so many religions on this planet, and the vast differences are very obvious, but there's also a lot of very weird similarities, which happen across cultures that have never interacted with each other prior.
Well, shit, there's similarities between dragons around the country or around the world too.
Dragons?
Yeah. If you go back far enough in a lot of cultures, there's like paintings of like dragons and dragon-esque type figures all around the world.
Okay, yeah.
That's an interesting thing.
But that goes to the whole Carl Jung thing, which Jung was obsessed with mythology and the human psyche, and he kind of came up with the idea of the collective unconscious, which I'm pretty sure we've talked about. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it with you before.
I think we talked about
the collective unconscious. C.G. Jung, he basically compared a bunch of different mythologies and religions together and was saying, well, here are all of the clear similarities between them. How are these happening across cultures and across time when none of these cultures have interacted until, a certain point?
Right, right.
Thousands of years of practice spread out across the world, and they have similar themes, and that's how we came up with the idea of archetypes and the collective unconscious. There's something within humans that kind of expands beyond our level of thinking. Maybe it is ingrained in our brains evolutionarily through just the passage of information.
So what I'm piecing together what you're telling me, what it sounds like. Okay, so it sounds like evolution happens, right? And so like you have several groups of civilizations all growing in their own time frame, right? But with their growth in each society and civilization, each one of them are coming up with their own archetype religion, essentially. And so
well, they're coming up with their own religions that are archetypical across the board.
Right?
Yes.
And so like
so
they're all leading
the same kind of.
They're all leaning towards the same principal idea, right? Mm-hmm. And like you're saying, it could be
it goes even beyond that with, the amount of apostles or messiahs or
like the numbers are all.
The numbers are similar. The stories are similar, but I think there's something ingrained in human nature.
Right.
That goes beyond the animals that we know of, obviously. But there's something ingrained in us that kind of expands beyond that. And it's just so crazy to me that, we can have all these different civilizations of people coming up with similar stories, following similar patterns, whether it's numbers or story arc or whatever. And then it kind of all correlates together. So I mainly asked the question because I was just curious what you guys thought about that stuff.
We're all in a simulation, man. It's just
it's
like
all
Age of Empires.
It's all just code running into each other. So
where you were going with it, I was just like, it's like, and you can throw a bunch of monkeys in a room with typewriters, write a novel.
You can do that, and it could work.
And like that's how I see it. I don't know. I don't
know. I've realized over the last few years because I grew up in like a Catholic presence from my dad's side of the family. They were Catholic, so I grew up around a Catholic church, and the idea of God, and then I was a staunch atheist for a long fucking time, you know. Once I got to, you know, just like post-puberty, I was like, oh no, like there's no fucking way, like God, like all that
It's bullshit.
religion's stupid, and like religion can definitely cause a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all bad, but it can definitely cause problems. But I think I've grown more to where I went from like just believing what I was told to not believing what I was told in defiance, and I'm not even at the point where I'm believing what I was told back then, but I'm more accepting to the concepts that they represent than the actual words that they give you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I'm actually less atheistic. I'm more agnostic now because I can't. You know, I studied biology. I can't say for certain
right.
that there is or there isn't because there's no way to.
You don't know.
It's one of those things we can't possibly fucking test.
Right.
So I've become more or less atheistic, even somewhat less agnostic. You know, I'm not saying I full-heartedly believe in like a Christian God, but I have definitely moved more into that realm to where I'm not putting it out of possibility, but I don't think it can't coincide with things we can learn from science.
Right. Well, like one of the really cool arguments that somebody's brought up to me when it comes to like explaining like the phenomenon of us, right? Is like in the biology sense, you put us under a microscope, all we are is a bunch of cells.
Well,
right?
we're apes that lost our hair.
Right, but I mean,
then we ate some mushrooms, I think.
But think about this: we're all a bunch of cells.
But yeah, we're just a collection of cells.
We're just a collection of cells.
Yeah.
Where does
For sure.
the personality? Where does this come from?
Soul.
The soul, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. That's one of the
that's-
things.
And that's
that's
where
one of the
there becomes
things
an
that has-
argument, though. It's like,
Sure.
what is our brain so complex that it's a figment of what we're
argue-
creating
yeah.
what a soul is. Like, we don't think about a deer or a dog. Like, some people like, the Rainbow Bridge for dogs. But when
they have something nothing else does.
Fuck cats, fuck gerbils, fuck bunnies.
Dogs get
say-
rainbow bridges.
There's a couple of arguments. There is the soul is connected to the brain, the human brain, and there's the argument that the soul is not connected to the human brain and it lives independently of us. And I think that
that's where it's like a lot of
because
people that are religious
Christians
are like,
believe
animals
the
don't have souls.
Well, the soul splits and goes to heaven or to hell, whichever you deserve.
And that's
you
why
know?
animals don't have
So
souls.
I don't know, man. I think the soul is interconnected to our brain. There's something about it. There's something about our brain chemistry, maybe, that makes us.
I think of
in
life
tune with it.
energy more or
And-
less than a
Sure,
soul.
but mass is always conserved. It's never destroyed. It just changes form.
Yeah, no, and that's
So
yeah.
a soul, I think, could pass between things. Not saying like I could put my soul into that fucking guitar right there, you know, or like my soul would like just like.
Have you
turn
not
into
seen
an animal, but
Tenacious
I don't
D?
know. I sure have.
Well, like
Oh man,
When it co-
fucking time ago. Oh yeah, I love Tenacious.
when it comes to like the soul talk and stuff like that, and like all the animals, like not that this is what I believe, but one way I've thought about it before when I've just like I had a lot of time on my hands and thought about this, but like you break it down. When you die, you're like this soul just kind of goes up in this little kind of limbo, right? And then it finds its way back into another living being, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a human being. It could be an animal, it could be a tree, but everything's got like this living being or this living soul inside of it. And when it dies, it just like roulettes through another being, and then sometimes it could take a long time before that soul makes its way back into an actual human being, and then it might take us a while to figure out how to like to use these human bodies again. But then like if you're in an animal body for a long time, you're just like an animal, you live and you die, and like I mean you do have some thought while you're going through all of it, but like finally as like you come back to this human state and you have the ability to actually speak, and then like that's where some people are like, what were you in your past life? And then like you have like these like I feel like I've done this before sort of thing, and like maybe you have just like many soul
my past
rotations
life,
ago.
frontiers, man.
And that's
Yeah.
where it's like I honestly
And-
believe in like the life you're living now is a life you haven't yet lived before. So in
Yeah.
the sense of like you're living like you live constant, like that's where it's like, oh, you seem like an old soul, in the sense of, oh, you've probably seen a lot of shit throughout your energy's existence, more or less, or your soul's existence. So it's like that's where for me I'm like, the life you're living now, you're experiencing something in, say, another life previously.
So you think
or-
the soul is interdependent of the brain? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Right
very
on.
much so a reincarnationist, more or less. I feel like people, your soul gains knowledge and gains experiences through its longevity. But I don't, like, I believe animals have souls. I believe everything has some sort of presence.
What about
of
bacteria?
Bacteria?
You think bacteria has a soul?
It's a single cell living organism. I believe so. That's what I'm saying. You can rifle your
An
soul.
amoeba?
Your soul rifles through all of these
Little
fucking
See,
living
and if we're going
organisms.
in that sense, yeah, maybe it's like, have you seen the new Disney movie Soul?
No, it sounded like shit.
No,
like
it's
every
actually
new
pretty
Disney
good.
movie.
No, it was actually pretty good. Basically, like everyone has to figure out like what they're gonna be, but everyone has to figure out what they want to be in life, or they like, and all their pieces
Okay.
to who they fit. And so it's very much, it's a good movie.
It's like a pick your own adventure, but it's your life. Yeah.
But it's like you have to figure out what makes your life work
Yeah.
before you are allowed
You need
to
to
go
find
to Earth.
meaning.
Yeah, before you're
need to
allowed
find
to
meaning.
give your life or
That's a
start.
sad fact of life right now. A lot of people don't have any meaning, and now they're angry and
That's
resentful.
probably why I didn't like watching
But-
that movie, because it was in the middle of the pandemic and I just didn't have any comedy.
No, but the whole point of that movie was it's the fact it's like find the little joys in life. Like it goes through the thing like this whole she was like the 7th or 8th soul ever created, but she never got her go on Earth because she just never found her purpose. But she got mixed up and was sent back into a body, and she's like, I just like being alive.
I gotta watch that movie again.
Like I just like seeing the leaves flow in the wind. I like feeling the air on my face. I like eating a piece of pizza.
Oh,
like
pizza's so fucking good.
but
that sounds so good right now. I'm
it's
like,
the little things. And that's the thing. And that's what that whole movie, like during the pandemic, it was very much like focus on the little things.
Well,
Don't focus on like I need to be a fucking musician. I need to be the pro athlete that I have always wanted to be. It's like you're able to walk to work. You have a job.
I got my dogs.
Like like you have things that you appreciate.
Yeah.
Like so it's like
Well,
take it for what it's worth.
I think
Are we wrapping it up?
We're hitting almost 2 hours now.
Are
So
we gonna do?
we should do
our triple threat?
Yeah, let's do the triple threat, the 3 questions, whatever you want to call
The
it.
triple threat questions. They're not even threatful.
The triple
Threatful. What's that
3-6 Mafia.
Threatening.
Great fucking group.
But
anyways,
I remember listening
six.
Up
Yeah.
in Smoke
Oh, that
back
shit.
in high
Oh,
school.
that
That
shit.
was my CD.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
3-6
anyways.
is great.
So we're
anyways,
gonna wrap this up. Yeah, you're gonna
so
ask a
Vinny,
question.
3 questions.
By the way, before we do this, because we have an extra guest today, the way it go, I guess it doesn't really matter because there's still only 3 of us. But the way the game normally works is whoever asks the question cannot be asked themselves. So if you're gonna ask me, I
okay.
can't ask you. I have to ask Harrison.
Okay.
So it has to go.
The same question.
Yeah, the same questions.
So, Vinny, name something good that happened today.
Name something good.
Or wait, what did you like about today?
Yeah, what
I'm
did you
sorry,
like
that's
about
what it is.
today? Yeah.
That's the question. What did you like about today?
What did I like about today? Okay. All right, so this is going to be like a two bang for a buck sort of things, because it's going to also answer my second question. What did I like today? I got an early start to my morning, and I was wired and preppy for work, or wired and prepped for work, whatever, and I was up and at 'em. So that was a good thing about today.
Okay. What didn't you like about today?
Well, the reason I got up so early today is because my dog shit and pissed on the living room floor, and I had to wake up and
Damn.
take care of that before I went to work.
I'm too familiar with that. I'm too familiar with
Oh my god! All right, and the
All right.
third question.
it. What do you hope for tomorrow?
I mean, there's an easy answer there, but I just want to get done with the day. I hope the weather does a total 180 and it's going to be beautiful out, and I can take the dogs out to the lake for a nice walk, and that sounds really good to me tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now I'll move on to Harrison. Harrison, what did you like today?
I got a piss really.
I guess it would be the fact that it's just one day closer to summer, one day closer to sunny days. Me able to actually ride my bike and enjoy time out in nature and
That's
not have
right.
it be.
Spent at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just got a new bike too, right?
Yeah, I just got a new mountain bike, so yeah, I'm kind of excited to do that. But it's more or less like even at work, it's nice to. It's like when it's sunny out, 70 degrees, and people are inside in cubicles, wishing they could be outside.
Yeah.
So it's one day closer to having a nicer work environment.
All right.
But
All right. So, what didn't you like today?
yeah, well, my cat loves to attack his tail and puts nice gashes in it about 2 to 3 inches long. I found out. I mean, he doesn't need it amputated. It's not advised.
Oh, that's
but
good.
He has to be on prednisone for the foreseeable future and get allergy shots consistently now for the next 3 months.
Poor little thing.
And it's gonna make him susceptible to diabetes. and
Oh
all
my
that.
God, that sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
So, but it's just allergy related, just pollen. So that being said, like, yeah, I'm more or less. That's the only bad thing that happened is my cat needs to learn to retract his claws because that's the reason why he has those cuts in his tail.
Oh God, that
But-
sucks.
Yeah, it's allergies. He just gets dry skin because the pollen in
Oh,
the spring
I get
and
that
the
now.
changing of the
Okay.
seasons,
Yeah.
and so it's more or less got to manage that. But no, he doesn't get his tail chopped off, but he definitely still needs to be watched and.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's definitely a bad thing today. What would you like to happen tomorrow?
For him to not attack his tail.
There we go.
But no, I hope for a good day. Again, it's another day closer to spring. Hope I wake up happy and healthy and nothing shitty happens to people I know or care about.
That's a good solid
Yeah.
note.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, then.
That's it. Yeah. What about you, Zach? So what was a good thing that happened to you today?
There you go.
Or what do you like about today?
What did I like about today? Well, I got to hang out and I got to do what I wanted to do. I was a little bit productive. I wasn't like the most productive, but I got to do what I wanted to do and it turned out good. Yeah, yesterday was really good. It didn't compare to today, but that's fine. Today was great. Yeah, today was good.
That's awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah.
So what didn't you like about today? What was the bad part about your day?
You know,
Too many Manhattans
No.
at Iron Bay?
I don't drink Manhattans. I drink old fashioned.
Old fat. Sorry. Similar.
They're so
sorry,
They're
listeners.
similar. It doesn't really matter.
You say that people are gonna ream you.
Well, yeah, I don't care. They read me every day of my life. You know, I don't have anything bad to say about today. Like that's what's crazy.
Really?
Normally I have something bad to say about.
We gotta look up some news real
But
quick.
We gotta double check this.
Did you look at
Gotta
the
ruin his
stocks
fucking
yet?
day.
the stonks? No, I'm not in the stonk game. But no, you know, honestly, it's weird. For the first time in a long time, like, I have nothing bad to say about today. It's been
Nobody
pretty
cut
good.
you off?
No,
Fucking A.
I know. Normally I get so mad about
Oh, man.
the smallest things, even in traffic. And you know, today
It
like,
was a good
everything-
day.
Everything's been all right.
All right, Ice Cube.
I guess my dog wasn't as chilled out as I wish he was.
That son of a bitch.
That's not no. But it's
Fuck
fine.
him.
He's good. He's fine, dude. Like that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
no, I'm
Like
just
it doesn't
kidding.
even bother me that much. Like I have no complaints about today. Honestly,
That's awesome.
it's weird. This
All
is a
right.
first.
good to
for
know,
me.
man.
This is a first for me. That's
Well,
why
you win.
Well, that sounds like
That's what I'm saying. It's a-
the answer to the first question.
It's a first
It's
for
just
me.
like
Man.
there was
I
nothing
have-
bad that
I
happened
have
in my day.
no
today.
complaints today.
So, what's something good that you hope happens tomorrow?
I hope I continue to be productive and make connections with new people and just move on, like, get my life going a little bit more. I felt so stagnant for a
I
while.
would like to clear up real quick. It's not that you had to hope for something good to happen. You can hope for something bad to happen too. So.
What, how bad that happens? Because I'm not a piece of shit, Vinny. Oh, I hope a whole tsunami.
benefits you. No,
I hope a whole
else.
tsunami wipes out wherever. No, of course not. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I mean,
You heard it here first. If it happens,
I'm
Hold up.
I'm realistic enough to know that something bad will happen to somebody tomorrow.
Well, okay.
But like, I'm not gonna like hope for that. What
No,
the
I know,
hell?
I know. It just makes me. It got me thinking about this street sign before we wrap this up. I seen this street sign the other day. There's a big yellow sign that said, "Slow. We love our kids." And I was like, as opposed to what? Fast? We fucking hate ours.
Oh, man.
All right.
this
Well,
one's blind. Take him out.
yeah. All right. Well, this is Two Birds, One Stone. I'm Vincent Schultz.
I'm
and,
Zachary Brooks, and we're joined here by.
Harrison Dehlin.
and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for hanging out as long as you have. If you made it this far,
Hell yeah.
if you can guess which one of us is stoned, you win the game. The only problem is that there is no game and there is no prize. So tune in next week for more Two Birds, One Stoned. Maybe we'll have another guest. Who knows?
Yeah,
See you later.
maybe.